Solo to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
This is the home of your Rangers, Cowboys, and major college football. We are DFW Sports Station 105.3, The Fan, KRLD.
DFW. Glad to have you on board on a Sunday morning here in the DF Dub. That gentleman to my right is none other than the three-time Hall of Famer Chris Arnold.
Got you down.
I am Fred Davis. We got our boy, the one, the only, the Trevor, the creator, a.k.a. Trevor Beck, behind the glass and the 1, 2s and 3s. And I tell you what, CA, Trevor, we talked a little bit about it before the show started, a little pre-show, getting things rocking and rolling this morning. And look, college football's almost here.
Thank God.
College football is almost here. We're a week away from week 0, but let's not bury the lead. And the reason I say that, kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of in jest, but I know this much, boys. I know this much. Dak Prescott better not get hurt.
He better not get hurt. That's right.
Okay.
That's the autopsy from the game last night. You and I were both there with Blake and Wooly Bully, Brian Broaddus, and Eric Chiafalo. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We also want to know what the Tolos think about it. 877-881-1053. That's the Franklin Franco Injury Attorneys text line. We always say, we can't thank you enough for letting us ride shotgun with you and you and you on a Sunday morning. And we will break this thing down. We'll be all the way till noon, right?
We got you till noon o'clock, boys and girls. We'll take you up until the Rangers pregame show.
Oh, no! I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Chris, because that's kind of
where we are.
Look, our job for the next 3 hours is to provide some hope,
context,
yeah, and
analysis.
Thank you for that. That's exactly right. Because I'm sitting here. Look, it's still early, at least from a Cowboys perspective. Now, Ranger fans, it's rough.
Okay, so
it's
for
a
the Ranger
rough
fans,
right now.
We're going to hold your hand and keep you from going off the edge of this building and swan diving off the bandwagon. We're just going to try to keep it real and have you have perspective and help you understand where you are and where you're not going to go.
The playoffs.
You're supposed to ease into it, Fred.
Look, Chris, you know me.
They're just waking up.
I call it like I see it. And, DFW fans yesterday, it was a rough go of it. First of all, hell, think about it. Toronto scored more points than your offense did. And I'm talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about it. The Toronto Blue Jay offense scored more points than your Cowboy offense yesterday.
14-13.
Okay. So that was number one. And really, your offense only scored 6.
Correct.
Considering you had a pick 6 yesterday.
But
Shout out to our boy Andre Booth.
Yeah.
Your Rangers offense, meanwhile, and your Ranger pitching is
you didn't like your new bullpen guy. You didn't like Rowdy on the mound.
Look,
looking like Babe Ruth up there.
When the Girthquake is out there throwing heaters, you know you're in trouble. I get it. I mean, look,
we didn't want to waste some pitching.
Yeah, I mean, we understand what that was all about.
Arms.
We're being kind of facetious as far as that goes.
But that's how bad it was.
That's exactly how bad it was, Chris.
14-2.
And you had Patrick Corbin didn't look good. And then I after the show, after the game last night, we get to the house and I get a tweet from Blake saying that the Rangers put John Gray on waivers the other day. All right, because they're trying to get out of that $3 million they owe him for the rest of the season. So that tells you all you need to know about what they think about him. This has been, unfortunately. And here's what I'm worried about, Chris, is that for this team that's been kind of nip-tuck all year long, in the thick of it, right, wrong, or indifferent, made the moves at the deadline, thought to yourself, okay, they're in it to win it. They're, hell, they were in the wild card spot a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
this thing could get ugly quick. Like
Yes.
we're on the verge of
38 games left.
38 games left. You've lost 8 of 9. And let's buy. And
Only
by the
won
way,
4 games since the trade deadline.
Right?
4 games. 4-11, I believe.
and let's take it a step further. The game you did win, you had to win on a walk-off. All right, so you've won 8. You've lost 8 out of 9. You won the one by the skin of your teeth. You've got is Evo on the bump today? I want to say Evo's on the bump today. We'll check and give that a look real quick. Then you're at Kansas City for the next 4 games. Oh, by the way, Kansas City has jumped you in the wild card race. They're now a half game ahead of you, or maybe I think a game and a half actually, because they're 62-61. You're 61-63 at this stage of the game. You could get KO'd after this next 4-game set because you're hanging on.
Evo's on the mound.
Evo is on the bump today, so
with a 1.71 ERA.
So you're hoping that he can stop the bleeding today, because if Evo can't stop it today and you go on the road to face a Kansas City team that is playing the White Sox, so they're probably going to sweep them today, and then you square off with them for a 4-game set in Kansas City.
And by the way, the Kansas City Royals have swept the Rangers this year. The Rangers played them down here 3 times and got swept.
That's right, they did.
So it's like either you return the favor or you're toast.
Oh, you absolutely are.
And let me say this as well.
Don't go. I mean, look, you got to split with them at the very least. You have to split to save face. Because to your point, Chris, I mean, look, if you get swept, that's a wrap. Cancel Christmas, you're done. Go ahead and start DFAing dudes. Start calling up all your. I mean, you might as well call Sebastian Walcott up if you get beat by the Royals this week.
We got some total section in the 214 says, morning, Freddie D and CA. We're headed to the lake to take the jet ski with my cousins.
Please be safe. Please be safe.
That's from Woody. Yeah, please be safe out there and stay hydrated because it's going to be 100 degrees again out there. Let's see. The 817 says, come on, CA and Fred. Enough of the gloominess. It's going to be a long day, man. I need some hope. And the hope was all caps. Here's the hope. We're going to baby step this thing for you so you can see the whole picture and not just want to just fall apart. We're going to make it, not that you necessarily have to. Fred just gave you a little hope. You need to win today. You got Evo on the mound.
You got Evo. That's about as hopeful as you can get, bro. All you need is 3 runs if you can. Don't put in Garcia after DeGrom goes out. Just leave him out. All I got to say is you've got a chance. And baseball, here's the other part about it. And I'm not saying that the Rangers are going to the playoffs. Yeah. I'm not saying that at all. Not after yesterday for sure. And I'm usually a half glass full guy. But here's the deal. Baseball is 162 games. It is.
The only way to survive it is you got to be good at compartmentalizing things. You got to say 1 effing game at a effing time.
Yeah.
And that's the only way. Because guess what? Even though the Rangers may be in this free fall right now, I'll be damned if the Rangers might not roll off some runs or run off some victory. Hold on. Let me say this one thing. That's not even the point. The other teams might fall apart. You have no idea.
I was getting ready to co-sign exactly what you're saying, because that's the funny thing about baseball.
That's how baseball go.
One team can spit the bit and lose 6 out of 10, and you can go on a run and win 8 out of 10. The problem you're up against now, though, Chris, and you know this, and it dovetails with exactly what you're saying, is you're running out of time.
38 games is not a lot of the games for all those other things to happen.
You need
the math is mathing right now where you still have a chance.
But you're only 4.5 games out.
That's the math.
You're only 4, as crazy as this sounds.
Yes, because guess what? The Yankees sucked in July, didn't they? They're falling apart.
Yeah, but
guess what? That's what I'm saying.
That's 7-8 games above 500
You're co-signing
now.
My point.
Yeah.
Ranger fans, the hope is this.
Dude, Milwaukee's won 14 in a row.
14 in a row.
And didn't do anything at the break.
Nobody saw that coming.
No.
So I'm just saying, baseball is a long season. And even though you got 38 games left, and it seems like that's not that many, there are too many things with this team that are good for it to be just over.
Because you could look, and again, we're not. This is what's so crazy about baseball, and we'll say this, and then we're going to get back onto this at 9:40 because CA and Blake and I had a conversation about this last night in the press box. Because what the hell else are you going to do when
there's an ugly game out there too?
When Joe
we were held hostage. Everybody at AT&T Stadium.
We do have a one-on-one with Joe Milton. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But was Kevin Pillar right?
I think he was right, and I think a lot of people took it the wrong way. I think he was just comparing the atmospheres at the Atlanta Braves. When he said, for those that thought he ripped the Rangers, because he was basically saying, and I'm going to be succinct with this, he said basically they don't really talk that much. They just go about their business the right way, which is why they won the World Series. But what he's also basically was saying, they have no emotional leader. Seager is 1990 Troy Aikman. Simeon's the same guy. He's Emmett, right? You don't have a Michael Irvin firing up the troops.
No, and don't tell me it's Adolis.
It's not Adolis. He's not Adolis. He's emotional, but he's not a leader.
He's not a leader.
He's an emotional leader that will crawl into a ball if because he wears it on his sleeve. Michael Irvin backs the stuff up. Well, there's not that guy on this Rangers roster, and guess what? They didn't need that guy when they won the World Series, so they didn't address it.
Everybody was hitting.
They didn't have to address it. And everybody was. The ultimate compliment in baseball is he goes about his business the right way, and that's what they do. But there's nobody to fire them. And Bochy's not going to do it because he's 100 years old. He's not going to be Jimmy Johnson. He's been there, done that. He's got 5 World Series, going to Hall of Fame, and all they can do is keep the wheels on. He's not going to be too high or too low. He's going to be even keeled so they don't lose their damn minds. But there's no emotional leaders to say, hey, we'll get to.
And see, that's the thing, is if Boch is at that stage, to your point, he's at that stage of his career where if you had that emotional leader, he could be the guy that brings everything back to normal, right? Regresses it back to the mean. But because you don't have that guy, that's going to be the issue. So, like I said, we'll get into a little bit more of that in the 940 segment as well.
We got one more quick text.
Go for it.
Because I think it segues into where you're going with this. It says, this is from the 903. Now everybody loves Dak. Now everybody hopes Dak doesn't get hurt. A few weeks ago, I was hearing, we found Dak's replacement, blah, 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 blah.
Okay, let's. All right, that's a perfect segue. Thank you for that.
I thought that would work out for you.
Don't lump
us,
this show,
this
station.
Don't be Sean. He's talking about the Tolos.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
don't take it personal.
I almost went Sean
He's talking about the Cowboys fans.
Is that Ernesto talking? Mm-hmm. No, I kid, but I think, and I'll tell you what. So I was texting my boy Teddy Johnson. You know Ted Johnson from over in Beantown. So he does the afternoon show on WEEI up there. And I texted him last night during the game, and I made a couple remarks about Joe Milton. And he texted back and he started laughing. He said, he goes, so you're seeing the whole Joe Milton experience, the good, bad, and the ugly, mostly the bad and the ugly. He said, we've got people here. So apparently they're having backup quarterback issues in New England as well, right? And he said they've got people calling into their show saying we should have never traded Joe Milton.
Oh, my God. Because he turned the backflip and played the game.
And Ted says, no, there's a reason why you got rid of him, okay? He said, the guy's 26 years old. He's bounced around, both college, now pro. I mean, guys like that you don't get rid of, okay? And I'll say this.
They get rid of themselves.
We talked to him last night, all right?
Nice guy.
Super nice guy,
yep.
Okay? Like, I said this, and when you hear the one-on-one with him yesterday, look, he's either the most confident guy in the world or the most delusional guy in the world. One of the two. We'll let you make that call. But I understand why coaches fall in love with this dude.
Coaches and fans.
Okay, absolutely.
That's who it is.
Because let me tell you something. Joe Milton is a freak of an athlete. Like, you see this dude and you're thinking, like, you wouldn't, if you didn't know any better, you'd think he was a tight end.
Right, as big as he is.
Like, you see him standing next to Dak, like he's a lot bigger than Dak Prescott.
Right.
Okay.
And he's got that cannon arm. And with the these people, I'm talking about the scouts, the coaches, the fans who fall in love with Joe Milton, they keep saying, it's the next Cam Newton. I'm like, no, he's Jamarcus Russell without the purple drink.
Well,
he's Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell was the #1 overall pick. And the reason why he was a bust, he could do everything that Joe Milton's doing. The reason he was a bust because he said it was the purple drink.
Yeah. Well, but he just didn't care.
For whatever, that's what I'm saying.
But Joe Milton cares.
He cares, but I don't think he's had. I don't know if he's going to ever I don't know if his football IQ is ever going to be quarterback level. There's one thing to be football level. It's got to be quarterback level.
That's it. That's it. I said this to Blake.
I wish
last
people would
week.
just stop comparing people to Cam Newton because Cam Newton's.
Here's the problem.
He won at every level.
Here's
MVP of the. He didn't win the Super Bowl. He was the MVP and went to the Super Bowl.
Here's what we fall into, and this is just media and fans as a whole. All right, you got a big black dude that we'd never seen before in Cam Newton. Okay, who could run and throw. Mm-hmm. All right, and we've never seen a 6'5", 250-pound dude do what Cam Newton did.
And referees let him get
the brakes beat off of him, right? Mm-hmm. We haven't. So anytime you see, because look, let's call it what it is. I mean, the only 6'5", 240 white dude we've seen that like that was Ben Roethlisberger, and he couldn't run to save his life.
No, he just
okay.
Now, he had an arm. He just had that.
He had that arm, right? We haven't seen, and so we see a guy like a Joe Milton, who, let's be real for a second, Joe Milton hadn't even tried to run.
No,
the last two games, like
he stayed in the pocket.
In some
he might
cases,
dance around a little bit. He
might dance around a little bit, but for a guy that can run, for a guy that we were told, hey, this guy's got some athleticism, it's almost like he said to himself, or maybe the coaches have said this to him, and I didn't get a chance to really get into it with him too much because the Cowboys folks said, hey, we're going to put him on the podium, but it's almost like he's like, hey, I got to prove that I can throw the football.
Right.
I know I can run.
He's accountable.
Which, okay, that's great, but at the same time, too, I'm also a big believer, and let me use a basketball analogy, Chris Arnold. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just need to make a layup. Okay?
Exactly.
Sometimes, look, if you're a 25% three-point shooter, but yet you're good at mid-range and getting to the cup, stop shooting threes.
Thank you.
Okay? Just sometimes you need to see the ball go through the basket. Mm-hmm. Okay? And right now, if I'm Joe Milton, maybe you need to run a couple design quarterback runs. Maybe you need to get hit a little bit, because here's the thing, that, and you're going to hear this in the interview with him, and I would have loved to have, this is what I was going to follow up with, because when you hear the interview, trust me, I was racking my brain on what am I going to say next.
The best angle.
Because my thought process, well, I'll tell you what, we'll save it because I want you guys to hear the Joe Milton interview, and then we'll go from there after that. So let's lay out this show, and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling on a Sunday morning, 877-881-1053. So glad to have you guys on board. My boy Chris Arnold and I. We haven't done a Sunday morning show in a while. It's been busy, right?
Yeah,
it's been busy.
And then I was on vacation.
You were on vacation. I was in Kansas.
This is before training camp.
You know how we do. But Chris and I, we're back. We're back and better than ever. So make sure you get your minds right on that front. So here's what we got going on. We're going to talk a little Rangers. Is it boys to men time? Is it boys to men time for your Rangers?
End of the road.
Okay, and you already know where I'm going with that. Thank you. Let's see. I love throwing stuff out there like you because I know Chris Arnold's going to get it. We'll get some more Cowboys stuff as well. We're going to take a trip around the National Football League. It is week 2 of the preseason, so who's bopping, who's not, we'll discuss that. We will have a guest at some point. We're efforting for that, so stay tuned at the 11 o'clock hour. CA Story, where are you taking us?
Me, Spike Lee, Denzel.
Enough said.
Yeah,
Enough said. That's all you need to know. Coming up next, it was a locker room atmosphere yesterday. Myself, CA, and Blake Elliott doing the heavy lifting yesterday. Not a lot of heavy lifting to do, okay, because you know how it is after a preseason game. But I sat down with Joe and Izzy McQuamu yesterday as well.
I belong to you.
The more time you give, the more our crush grows.
They say in order to remember something, you have to forget something. Okay, now that is a very cute haircut. That's like a little shag. I've never seen it before. Well, I mean, of course you have. It's the Rachel. Oh, is that your name?
No, I mean, it's your name.
No, I'm Jen. My name's Jen.
Right, but I just mean like this is your haircut.
But that's hair on your head.
I'm not saying this is your hair.
Okay.
forget something else to remember that Uber Eats has roasted.
No, that's absurd. Hey, remember when you used to be what was it, Pepper Lady? Pepper Lady?
Wasn't it Cinnamon Sisters?
Asia Babes.
Sapphire Squad?
Nutmeg Maidens?
Sweetheart?
No. I just said that. Was it Spice Girls?
Doesn't sound right.
Was it Saffron Squad?
$0.05 per gallon bonus.
This segment of 105.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Frankels. If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, call Frankel first. 214-817-3333. With Frankel & Frankel, there's never an out-of-pocket cost, and they only get paid when you win. Frankel & Frankel, the go-to car truck attorneys in Dallas.
What a read, Trevor the Creator. This is a Sunday morning edition of The Fan. I am Fred. That's the three-time Hall of Famer, Chris Arnold.
Got you down.
You guys are locked and loaded this morning. Josh Allen from the 214, and we forgot about 6'5" white guys that can actually run a little bit, and Josh
throw.
Allen and throw, and he is certainly in that group. And then let's see, here we go from the 817. Love you guys. I'm more excited about Caitlin Clark playing basketball again than I am the Dallas Cowboys.
Until they win 2 games in a row. Watch what happens. I've seen this story before.
Here's the thing. It's easy right now to get inundated with the negativity because offensively you've looked, I mean, I don't even know if woeful is the right word. And we talked about this last night in the press box. At some point you need to put it, we were talking about, okay, do you go ahead and put in Chris or do you put in Will Greer because you need to see what you got wide receiver-wise.
Okay, let me say it like this. This is what you saw the last 2 games offensively from the Cowboys under Joe Milton and the vanilla offense. First quarter, first game against Rams, 1 yard total offense.
Yeah.
First quarter against the Ravens last night, -5 yards total offense. That's what you saw in the first quarter. And this is a team when they were winning 12 games every year, they would always start fast.
Yeah.
They'd always outscore the opponent in the first half. And they'd always score first.
Well, but you saw that last night, though, especially in the preseason. I mean, look, Cooper Rush did what Cooper Rush does.
Yeah, for those who don't know, that's where he landed with the Baltimore Ravens.
So it was almost kind of,
deja vu.
Deja vu.
Because he marched them down the field.
It was a little sad to watch it in some cases because on one hand you're like, okay, say what you want about Cooper Rush. I mean, look, Cooper Rush is a backup quarterback for a reason, all right? But Cooper Rush can still win you football games.
He went 9-5 as the Cowboys quarterback starting.
He made you respectable last year on a roster that didn't have a lot of respectability to it going into the season.
He's got some experience.
He's absolutely got experience. And it begs the question for me, Chris, when you watch so I watched, you guys all know I'm a Chiefs fan, so I watched the Chiefs and the Seahawks on Friday night. Now, you want to talk about the Cowboys looking rough. I'll tell you what, the Chiefs got housed by the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle might be a better team than people think. I'm telling you right now. Mike McDonald.
Oh, yeah.
Mike McDonald's got them boys playing now.
And Sam Darnold, even though he didn't do anything at the end for Minnesota, they still went
14-3, 13-4, something like that?
14-3.
Yeah.
14-3. No, 13-4.
Yeah.
And they only lost twice to They lost
Detroit?
It was 14-3.
Yeah.
They lost twice to Detroit, and then they lost twice to the Rams.
Yeah.
Once in the playoffs and once in the regular season. And then Sam Darnold was out of there because he was going to get paid big money, and they had the rookie.
Which they were okay with, right?
Yeah, they had the rookie.
Hey,
JJ got hurt in the training camp last
now we're
year.
going to see what JJ McCarthy looks like, but that's a whole other conversation for another time. But at Sam Darnold, at the very least.
So you're watching Kansas City.
So I'm watching Kansas City, but here's my point with that. All right. Kansas City's got Gardner Minshew as a backup quarterback. Okay.
He and his mustache.
With that mustache, highly respectable though.
Yeah.
Backup quarterback.
Okay.
Been
around.
He can win you games.
Yes, he can.
He's really a better version of Cooper Rush. Maybe
Right.
a more mobile version.
He was a
of Cooper
starter a
Rush,
couple times.
Okay. Drew Lock, backup
Yep.
for Seattle.
Yep.
Same situation. All right. Can win you games. A little bit mobile. All right. Again, God forbid if your quarterback gets hurt for 3 or 4 weeks. Drew Lock you can throw Drew Lock in there, and you can feel that, all right, we may not go 4-0, but we might go 2-2.
Correct.
He can hold down the fort.
And
all right.
so could Cooper Rush.
And so could Cooper Rush. All right. My point in all that is this: Cooper Rush can hold down the fort. You've got Drew Lock, the Gardner Minshews. Hell, let's take it to the Giants even. Okay, where you got a Jameis Winston, you got a Russell Wilson, you got a Jackson Dart, you got guys that can hold down the fort. If Dak Prescott were to get hurt, look, Will Grier. There's a reason why Will Grier's been on 5 different football teams.
Here's the deal about Will Grier, and we had Babe Laufenberg on the show yesterday at 11 o'clock, and Babe broke it down best. He said, "This is unusual for me. If it were me being the coach of this team, running this team, I would be prepping Will Grier, not Joe Milton."
Yeah.
And he said the reason why. He said, I can understand last year Trey Lance ended of his contract. You got to see what you got because he's going to walk. You got to see if he's worth it. He said, I understand Trey Lance. You've got Joe Milton for 3 years. Will Grier Will Grier's only had 54 passes in the regular season. 54 passes. He looks like he can hold it down, but you don't know. He's the one you should be getting ready. He said, I understand the enamor of Joe Milton, but you cannot really say, Joe Milton, he's not even close to being ready. He said, I would be getting Will Grier ready. That's Babe Laufenberg, who was a quarterback in his time. And he's, of course, the color analyst for the longtime color analyst for the Cowboys.
And Babe said something when I was filling in for KNC. We had him on the show, and he said something that I think is kind of the overarching theme when it comes to Joe Milton. He said, if you drop somebody onto Earth for the first time, and we're saying, okay, this is what a prototypical quarterback would look like, it'd be Joe Milton.
Yep.
6'5",
the measurables.
240.
That's how scouts get away with murder.
4'5",
Well, he had the measurables. I didn't know it wouldn't work.
Hand cannon for a right arm, right? All the things you want. And then you see it, and they talked about it last night on the postgame show. And, of course, make sure you listen to the postgame show on 105.3 The Fan.
Broadus and Willie Bully.
Broadus and Willie Bully do a fantastic job. And, of course, you get to hear some of the audio from CA, myself, and Blakey Blake.
And Bobby Bell.
Now, there was no Jerry yesterday.
Nope.
All right. Hell, that tells you all you need to know about yesterday's game. Jerry didn't even want to talk about it. We joke. It's kind of normal for him not to preseason. Look, Jerry's in preseason mode too. Okay, Jerry.
Yeah.
Plus,
it depends on the situation.
And let's be honest, Jerry didn't want to get hit with 50 Micah questions because that's all he's going to get hit with.
Yeah, Micah was there, by the way.
Look, and he was absolutely. We saw him walk out of the locker room.
Yep.
Thing is this: if Jerry would have been there yesterday, he was going to get hit with 2 questions. 1, what's up with Micah? And 2, are you going to go get another quarterback?
Exactly.
That's the only 2 questions you should ask.
The best way to describe what happened yesterday, I think the headline in the morning says, after that game, there are more questions than answers.
There absolutely are. Joe Milton last night, 9 of 18, 122 yards, 50% completion rate, 1 interception, 2 sacks. Okay, and the interception was just ugly as all get out. And he talks about it in the interview. We'll do it here in just a second. So we're politicking. Hey, let's see Will Grier. Let's see what Will Grier can do. First pass. Oh, right down the seam. John Stevens. Was it John Stevens or was it number 45? It was number 45. Who was it?
Faint.
That's right. Princeton Fant. Boom.
Fant, and he hurt his shoulder.
Hurt his shoulder right afterwards. Good guy.
But it was a nice go route.
It was a nice throw.
It looked like a Joe Milton pass.
because Joe Milton had missed a pass on the seam early in the first half, right? So you're thinking, okay, Will, I see you.
Yeah.
And then
I
Will,
could make that pass too.
And then Will decided to go and miss his next 4 passes. But Miles, and he fumbled the ball too.
He got it snatched.
All right. Running the ball. Okay, so then you're saying, all right, well, Fred and Chris, well, maybe they ran the ball better. Miles Sanders, 7 carries, 15 yards, and I'm gonna borrow a term from our boy Brian Broaddus. A pack your bag game. Yeah. Miles might well go ahead and pack his bags, okay? Because I didn't see anything out of Miles Sanders that Phil Moffitt can't do.
It was Sanders and Deuce Vaughn. And Deuce Vaughn. It was like a farewell. That's all I can say.
I think it was a farewell for both of them.
I do too.
You know,
like you said, Brian Broaddus said, it's a pack
your bag game.
They're gonna knock on the door and say, "Hey, turn in your clipboard, turn in your."
Go ahead and hand your iPad in. I don't know if I'd have let him leave the building after last night. I mean, I'd let him leave the building, but go ahead and hand your stuff in on the way out. So yeah, Miles Sanders, 7 carries, 15 yards for a robust 2.1 carry per carry. Our boy Deucey Deuce, Emaw, 5 carries, 11 yards for 2.2. So between the two of them, 12 for 26. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but and look, it's not like the offensive line was creating holes by any means, but I mean the defense was pinning their ears back from the
Broaddus said it best after the game. He said it was a regression from the first game, which was horrible. And again, we know that they're trying to be vanilla. We know it's backups, but guess what? One of the questions we were talking about in the me, you, Willie Bully, Broaddus, Blake. In the press box was, is it hurting the receivers that Milton can't get them the ball? How can you evaluate these other guys if the quarterback can't even get them the ball?
It was there was a lot of questions about that. What you got? Hold on. Trevor's waving me down for a second. What's he saying? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. I got some.
What's the word, man?
I got to read here. By the way, in case you guys were wondering, when we talk about training camp, Chris Arnold, did you know that the Odyssey Sports Training Camp coverage is brought to you nationally by Geico? Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
And let me say this: training camp is not over. They might have left Oxnard, but they're going to do some stuff up there at the Ford Center at the Star, and you can go to DallasCowboys.com and find out how you might be able to watch some training camp.
I went to the Star for the first time this week to go pick up the credentials.
You had never been out there?
I'd been out there, but I'd only been to the Ford Center.
Okay,
I'd been to the Ford
just
Center.
To the stadium. Yeah,
I'd been to the Ford Center. Me and Blake went out there for that Dallas Open tennis tournament or whatever it was.
Right.
But I hadn't actually been inside the Star.
Right.
And man, what a palatial estate.
It's the Wizard of Oz.
It really is. It really is.
It is state of the art. I encourage anybody to get the drone video on YouTube of the Star tour. It's like the Star. It's a drone that just flies all through the inside.
Darren Woodson mean mugged me, by the way.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. You look, when you've got.
He looked at you like, who the hell are you?
I think that's what it was.
You don't look familiar to me.
He kind of looked me up and down like, who is this dude?
He's a great guy.
No, he looked like a super nice guy. But, I mean, look, as Blake likes to give me a hard time about, I had my hat on. I had my shades on, I've got my beard, and I was holding a handful of credentials. So
that's what it was.
I may have looked nefarious, boys.
You looked nefarious. Okay? Like, how did he get those credentials? Who is this guy that I would love to sit at the sports bar with? Exactly. You look like the guy again. You look like the guy anybody would love to watch a game with at a sports bar or at the man cave. And so he's probably like, he doesn't look like a reporter.
He
does not look like staff.
That's it. Where did this guy come from? I had a black T-shirt on. Like something wasn't adding up.
Nefarious.
Yeah. No. Darren definitely gave me a once over. We're just letting any kind of riffraff into the Star these days. Is that what's going on here? Is that what's going on here? But I gave him the head nod. I gave him the what's up. I mean, look, I'm not new to this, Darren.
Get him out of here! What are you doing over here?
I have been asked that once before. I had a woman ask me at a bar one time. She goes, "What are you mixed with?" And I said, "Whiteness? I don't know." I said, "My grandmother's Colombian. Does that count for anything?" So anyway,
by the way, Nick Harris told me he's going on vacation to Colombia next year.
Okay,
we might need to talk to him about that.
Well, hey,
we might have him on the show in a couple hours.
I mean, look, my grandma's dead, so I don't have a lot to offer.
You don't want to go to Colombia to see your cartel family?
Absolutely,
your cartel family.
Look, my grandmother's family is from Barranquilla, and her dad was Panamanian. So there might be. Look, if you see a little Colombian dude if you see a pigeon-toed Colombian dude in Barranquilla that looks like me, we might be related.
You look European.
Okay,
You don't even look South American.
Related. You just but that's where they immigrated from, was over in Europe. So there you have it. Who knew you were going to get educated today on
Worldwide.
the program? All right. When we come back, we're going to pay off the audio tease. I promise. Hey, look, we got knee deep into it. Look, Trevor, you know how this works.
Listen,
okay?
I was ready, and then
it's more to keep you ready.
That's fair.
Okay.
We got some.
Don't get
Look,
ready.
I had Tim Collins busting my chops yesterday. He said it took you 44 minutes to pay off a tease. I didn't have the nerve to tell him, Tim, I have got a tease from January that I haven't paid off yet. So, nobody teases quite like
Mangini, baby.
That's what I was about to say. Where's this Mangini audio?
I've got the Mangenius audio. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm going to say. I'll put this out there right now for those of you.
Season's going to kick off.
And if you know,
before
you
that.
know. All right. If you're a real fatty or Tolo, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I teased this audio the day of the
hiring of
Shoddy press conference on the 24th, and I remember that because that's my daughter's birthday. We will play
month?
January 24th. Exactly. We're 6 months into this bad boy, right? 7 months almost.
8.
Yeah, right. I will pay off this tease before the season starts. Okay? Scout's honor. Now, I wasn't a Boy Scout, but Scout's
were you
honor.
a Boy Scout? All
Of
right.
course I wasn't.
Hey.
I've seen those videos. I watched the documentary. Okay, you ain't getting Freddie D like that. No sah. All right, coming up next, I sat down for about 50 seconds with Joe Milton yesterday before the Cowboys PR people whisked him away. But we did get one good question in. Plus, Izzy McQuamu. Izzy McQuamu was a little bit taken aback by my questioning. And I also schooled him on some terminology that even Izzy wasn't used to. Lots to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Ice, baby.
It's 105.3 The Fan.
With the Bosch 18-volt Glide Miter Saw, you'll feel like the smoothest cat on this side of Smoothsville. Meow. And when you...
Uber Eats has Lola B products? I gotta remember that.
Well, they say in order to remember something, you have to forget something else. Okay, now that is a very cute haircut. That's like a little shag. I've never seen it before. Well, I mean, of course you have. So Rachel. Oh, is that your name?
No, I mean like your name.
No, I'm Jen. My name's Jen.
Right, but I just mean like this is your haircut.
But that's hair on your head.
I'm not saying this is your hair.
He's up there in Portland. He's just doing small stuff up there in Portland.
Yeah.
He fills in for Jim Rome one time. Our big boss, Brian Purdy actually heard him.
Yeah.
And brought him down to Dallas, and thus Gavin Dawson.
The rest is history.
Because he filled in for Jim Rome one time.
That's all it takes. Like I said, I'm a Rome guy. Now, Rome's not the same guy today, but he didn't need to be. He's also almost 60 years old.
Exactly.
So, think about it. Are you doing the same kind of radio at 65 that you were doing at 35?
Nope.
I'm 44 and I ain't doing the same kind of radio that I was doing 10 years ago.
But like this, he's in the Howard Stern kind of category. Stern was really wild back then.
Yes, he was.
And then now he's kind of like, well, he's still making millions. But he's not the same guy.
Not anymore, though.
He's parlaying.
Cancel his show.
No, they didn't cancel. He's not going to extend. He's going to go to another platform.
Well, yeah, he's doing that because they canceled his show.
It's all how you interpret it.
Well, yeah, or how you spin it.
Okay, so put it like this: $100 million.
Yeah. The money's. I ain't mad at him one way or the other, but it's like, I was a Stern guy. I've always appreciated his ability to interview. My issue with Stern now is, look, if you're going to interview, open it up. What made Stern great was he talked to everybody back in the day. Now it's kind of like, all right, you pick a side.
So if he does what one side thinks he's going to do, which is try to do a Joe Rogan thing, as opposed to being locked in with Sirius, and Sirius can't do because this kind of like linear. I'm just saying. Don't just assume they decided to let the deal expire. They were negotiating.
Yeah.
And each side wanted something different.
No, that makes sense. Look, here's the deal. The dude was getting paid $500 million, right? Now, and there's been, look, I've read and again, it's one of them things where I've read different stories. Allegedly, he's got his own entrance. But apparently, they said the biggest thing he's upset, or let's put it this way, I don't know about upset's the right word, but he's not crazy about this new podcasting generation because I guess they haven't earned their chops, so to speak, the way he had to do it back in the day. And I can understand that to a point, but if he's going the podcast route,
he's got to compete. In other words, he couldn't do that while he's with SiriusXM.
Well, yeah, but he didn't need to.
You say he didn't need to, but there's a whole generation, just like you said, they don't know who he is, just like they don't know who Jim Rome is. The people under the age of 30 like, oh, him? I heard the name.
To go, okay,
so,
to your
in other
point,
words, it's not about the money, it's the ego of it all.
Oh, no, look, and again, to your point, this younger generation has no idea. I'm sure there's a handful of dudes. You know who Howard Stern is, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But I'm older than most of the producers here as well.
That's true.
So I was around. I remember sneaking out late at night to watch Cinemax and watch the Howard Stern movie because it was rated R.
Oh, that Howard Stern movie, Private Parts, with Paul Giamatti, WFAN. No, I like
Pig
I said,
vomit.
I'll tell you what.
Vomit.
But again, that's just old school. That was just old school radio right there. All right, real quick, let's hear from our boy Joe Milton. Joe was sitting there.
Yeah, we digress.
Chilling, and he was you were chopping it up with Dak. Joe's sitting there on his phone, minding his own business, and nobody's around him. So I said, well, let me go up there and holler at him because I don't know if he's going to. And I asked him, I said, hey, are you going up to the podium? He goes, man, nobody said anything to me. Let me holler at you for a minute. All right, well, tell us what happened today. Your game 2, where we at?
Yeah, game 2. I felt like, I started to feel a little bit more comfortable on the interception. Just got to see the post safety get over there. I was just so geeked about the boundary safety rolling down, but just got to clean up my eyes and see the post safety roll over top. Expect that to happen. But other than that, the sack, just try to get the ball out to the right on the safety. And other than that, man, I feel like I played pretty clean. After I started cleaning up my eyes and footwork and just trusting it, start playing clean. But just got to clean up the small stuff, man, and things will be rolling.
And then they say, hey, we're going to take him to the podium.
No, that's when they snatched him up from me. But your immediate thoughts when you hear that?
The one thing I've said from the beginning, to me, he's Jamarcus Russell until proven otherwise. And people might think that's a diss Jamarcus Russell, for those who don't know, he had the same measurables. I'm not going to say Cam Newton. People
you
don't
have to say Cam Newton.
That's where I'm going with this. This is where I'm going with this. Hear me out. I hate it when scouts, coaches, and fans fall in love with a cannon arm, assuming that they will have the mindset, the quarterback football IQ. You can have a football IQ, but you got to have a quarterback football IQ to do what these guys do nowadays. Yeah. And I'm like, the measurables are not enough. So Jamarcus Russell, who was the #1 overall pick because of those measurables, I might as well say Anthony Richardson. Same damn guy.
See, I would say something like...
And the only reason people diss Jamarcus Russell is because he threw his career away saying it was purple drink.
Well, that, and there was that old story about how they gave him a VHS tape that had nothing on it and said, here, this is game film, watch it and tell us what you saw. And they gave him the video. He comes back and says, oh, yeah, I saw this, this, and this. And they're like, okay, we know you're not even remotely locked in. Yep. So I'm with you 100% on the measurable part when it comes to
the measurables.
Jamarcus Russell. But again, for us old heads, we know that, Joe Milton actually cares.
He does.
Jamarcus Russell never cares.
He's accountable.
That's the difference, right? And so that's my only pushback, but I know I know exactly where you're going with it.
It's just pure measurables.
Joe is at least trying. Now,
yes,
Broadus said something in the post game yesterday, and he said this 2 weeks in a row on the post game and during his show on the G-Bag Nation. Make sure you check it out, 2 to 7 Monday through Friday. What bothers him is that he's getting reps in practice. Okay, we've heard that he's looked good in practice for the most part. What is going on to where you're getting all these reps in practice? Look, Trey Lance never got this kind of opportunity.
No.
Okay.
Sure didn't.
And oh, by the way, you traded more for Trey Lance than you did for Joe Milton.
A 5.
And oh, by the way, there's only like a 100 pass attempt difference between Joe Milton and Trey Lance.
By the way, Trey Lance looked good again this weekend.
And he looked good again. And I don't know who tweeted this out. Blake showed me the tweet yesterday. We were walking back to the truck, and he showed me the tweet yesterday, and I can't think for the life of me who tweeted this out, so apologize, but it's not an original thought, and shout out to whoever said this. Rather than develop a quarterback, the Cowboys continue to try to find lightning in a bottle.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay. And if you'd have just held on and before anybody says, well, look at the money, Fred, that's why you decided not to keep Trey Lance. $1 million. Okay. That's peanuts in the NFL. All right. I mean, look, I get it's not my money, but at the end of the day, $2 million is what the Chargers are paying Trey Lance. And God forbid if something happened to Justin Herbert, which has shown to be the case. I mean, Justin Herbert does get hurt. All right. With the way Trey Lance has looked, you're not going to fall off a cliff. Okay? Oh, by the way, and I remember saying this to you last year. I remember saying this to you last year in the press box. I said it to you, and I said it to Brian Broadus. In Week 18, when Trey Lance played, I said, you know what? You can see a discernible difference in him from where he was at in the preseason to where he finished last year. We talked about that in the press box, okay?
And by the way, I actually like Trey Lance's game more than Joe Milton.
Oh, it's night and day. It's night and day because,
he's got a bigger arm, but no. The game.
How many deep? This isn't John Madden football.
What I'm talking about.
You're not throwing 50-yard bombs every damn day.
But this is what fans absolutely love. They love a quarterback with a big arm. So before the game even starts, whether the team sucks or not, guess what? We got a chance. We got Josh Allen. We got a chance. Nobody says, that Tom Brady's got an arm.
No, but he makes throws.
How about 7 Super Bowl wins? How about he's got the high IQ, a quarterback IQ?
Knows when to check down when he needs to.
Thank you.
Okay, there's something to be said for that.
And see, that's why it just drives me not crazy, but I just shake my head when people just dismiss Dak as if he's terrible. He is not terrible. He does everything but not have the big arm. He doesn't have any playoff wins. Okay, so he doesn't play defense too. I apologize.
There you go.
He should play some defense and not let the other team score 48 points.
1 hour in the books. That's the 3-time Hall of Famer. I'm Fred. That's our boy Trevor, the creator behind the glass of the 1, 2s, and 3s. Coming up next, let's take a trip around the National Football League. We'll get in a little bit more Rangers talk. We got some fair or foul. We got a guest we're efforting. We got some more CA stories to get to. So much happening right here on 105.3 The Fan.
have to forget something else. Okay, now that is a very cute haircut. That's like a little shag. I've never seen that before.
Well, I mean, of course you have. It's the Rachel.
Oh, is that your name?
No, I mean, like, your name.
No, I'm Jen. My name's Jen.
Right, but I just mean, like, this is your haircut.
But that's hair on your head.
I'm not saying this is your hair.
Okay, freaking me out a little bit.
This is the exclusive home of Dallas Cowboys football. KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas, Fort Worth. Let's go, Cowboys.
An Odyssey sports station. Driven by our D&M Leasing Studios. Thanks for turning it on, leaving it on. 105.3 The Fan.
Hour number 2 of the program happening right now. It is 105.3 The Fan on a Sunday morning. You know who that gentleman is to my right, the one, the only, the three-time Hall of Famer, Chris Arnold.
Touch you down.
That gentleman behind the glass with the hat on backwards and the flowing locks is none other than Trevor the Creator, a.k.a. Trevor Beck. You want to say hello to the audience, or are you just too cool for school? Is that what it is?
I'm sorry. I'm pushing buttons. I'm doing things. I got to be better. You're right.
He's fighting.
Come on. I'm over here trying to love you up.
You're right.
You know who wouldn't have missed that opportunity?
Kevin Walker.
Khaki Kev.
We love you, Khaki Kev. And, of course, I'm Fred Davis. Don't forget, we're going to get into a little football talk here in hour number 2. But just remember, Odyssey Sports Training Camp coverage, say that 10 times fast, is brought to you by Geico. Nationally, it's brought to you by Geico. Not just locally, but nationally as well. Switch and save. Get more with Geico today. Tell you what, that Gecko, what a career that guy's had.
The Gecko from Australia.
Where's he from anyway?
Australia?
Is he British or is he Australian?
He's Australian.
He's Australian?
He's Australian.
Interesting. Huh. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought he was British.
I thought he was too. There we go. We learned something new today, Chris Arnold.
Yeah, he's from that criminal island.
You're wearing one of your favorite shirts today, I noticed. All right. I know the story behind that shirt. Chris Arnold with one of the best wardrobes in all of the DFW.
No, this is just a regular T-shirt that caught my eye about 25, 30 years ago in Austin.
That's it.
I'm walking down 6th Street, and I went to this little T-shirt shop, and it's red. It is not burnt orange, but it's red.
No.
And right over the heart, it has the little words on it. It's little tiny little words.
That's it.
And it says, "Nosy little effer, aren't you?"
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't say effer.
No, it doesn't.
And everybody that squints and looks down, they just start shaking their head and laughing. I just laugh back.
Austin has a ton of T-shirt little shops.
Yeah,
It's
but
crazy.
this is
down
my
there.
one of my favorite T-shirts. Period. 'Cause
I'll tell you what,
it's
that's
subtle.
One thing is, men, we love a good T-shirt. All right, and we will rock this. I mean, like I said, you got a shirt that's 25 years old. I wore a shirt last week, a World Gym shirt that is 20. Well, no, let's see, that's 18 years old, older than my kid.
Trevor, you got anything old that you wear?
I got shorts that I wear forever. I mean, I'll blow elastic out like crazy. I don't care.
Whoa.
Sound like somebody's grandpa.
That's it. Just that.
I got one real
Didn't know
quick.
you and Elastic had it like that.
One
Anyway,
real quick one.
I digress.
It dawned on me this morning when I woke up. I got this one pillow that I sleep on.
Yeah.
Actually, it helps me with my back.
Right.
It's old as hell. I've had it forever.
Bro, you
and
might
it
want to
works.
get that thing looked at.
No, my back is fine. I would go to chiropractor.
No, I'm not talking about your back. I'm talking about the pillow.
It's got feathers that are old in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The feathers fall out every now and then.
You gotta be careful.
But this would hit me. This pillow is older than my kids.
Yeah.
But it works.
I believe it,
So I'm
dude.
just wondering, Tolos out there, how old is your pillow? 877-881-105. Because, I mean, you've traveled a little bit over the last few years, bouncing around the country a little bit, Texas. Do you have the same pillow for a long time, or do you have a new pillow every time
it's funny you bring up the thing about the pillow. I've got a pillow that I've had since my Navy days.
See?
And that I got out of the Navy in 2004. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. I got out of the Navy in November of 2003. So it'll be 22 years this November that I've been out of the United States Navy. And I've got the same pillow.
Look out.
Yeah.
And in other words, you've had that pillow as longer than most clothes you have.
100%. Now, I do have a Navy search and rescue shirt that is as old as my daughter, and she's 22. So, yeah. So I'm the same as you.
Trevor, you got a pillow?
I got long-standing pillows. I'm a long-standing shoe guy. I've got shoes that I've worn since 2016.
But do you wear them all?
Oh yeah, all
really?
The time. Those little brown crappy-looking shoes. I've had those since 2016.
Oh, you had some of them little brown shoes?
Little brown shoes.
Yeah, them little brown shoes.
We got a text from Ed in Denton 940 says, "Any shirt under 20 years old in my closet is considered brand new."
Shout out to Ed in Denton. All right, for the 817 for Fred Alicious and Chris. Appreciate the Fred Alicious.
Is Joe
name.
Milton?
Is Joe Milton actually Ryan Leaf or Johnny Manziel? Which of the three would you start if you were coach? Here's the thing, and see, this is where people are getting they're getting things misconstrued, right?
Right.
You can you're able to differentiate the difference between Jamarcus Russell and see what's happening is you got people
I'm
thinking
just talking about measurables.
and see that's where people are getting screwed up, right? They're Googling Jamarcus Russell and they're thinking to themselves, oh well, he's a malcontent too. No, Joe Milton is not a malcontent.
Not at all.
Let's make that clear. Okay, he's not Ryan Leaf.
Nope.
He's not Johnny Manziel.
And Ryan Leaf was on drugs.
Ryan Leaf was on drugs.
He goes Super Bowl every year, and he makes the circuit, and he's telling people stay away from drugs. He was out of control.
He was out of control. And
Johnny Manziel, he turned into
he
party
might
boy.
still be on drugs. I'm not convinced he's not.
He was on some for a while because he got real skinny, and then he talked about he's kind of cleaned up. But at the same time, for whatever reason, he decided to just be a party guy.
Well, and let's be real. I'm not convinced his game was ever going to. I mean, even if he'd have stayed sober, I don't know that his game was going to translate to the NFL.
Yeah, because he's a little short.
I mean, he's a 6 foot tall.
You know what his measurables were?
Dual threat white dude.
You know what his measurables were that actually were working for him in his favor? He got the biggest damn hands. His hands are just mitts. And that's how he's able to sling that football around.
I'm telling you right now. I think you and I have actually talked about this before. If you look at Russell Wilson, Wilson's got some big old ass
big hands. That's why they when they do the combines and they measure those hands. Man.
Look, I don't think it's coincidence that Kenny Pickett's had so much problems.
Hey, Jared Goff has. We was always telling Sean Sharif he's got Jared Goff hands because Jared Goff has these little hands.
See, that's the last thing you want to hear. But there's something to it. Now, Jared Goff, but at the same time,
but
he's 6'5" too.
He's 6'5" and he overcame his hands.
Now that said, he's got. We always compare. We kind of fall into comparing Dak Prescott to Kirk Cousins. Is it fair to say that maybe he's kind of got that Jared Goff style as well. I mean, they're kind of all the same guy. I mean, because Jared Goff can spin it. Jared Goff can win you games, but then he'll go into an NFC championship game or NFC divisional game, and, Commanders will eat his lunch.
He did go to the Super Bowl.
He did go to the Super Bowl.
But it wasn't
He did
his
go to
arm.
the Super Bowl. Right? I mean, it wasn't like they were going on the arm of a Jared Goff,
They
right?
had a guy named Genty. Not Genty. That was Ashton Genty.
Who are you talking about, Gurley?
Gurley, before he got hurt. Gurley was running the ball for them, and that's why they went to the Super Bowl.
Well, they did, and then, of course...
They had a real good...
but then they scored they kicked a field goal that game, and that was, Sean McVay got put into a clown suit by Bill Belichick.
I'm just saying that Goff went to the Super Bowl, and they said, his hands are too small, we got to trade him. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's funny you say that, though.
They knew Stafford had the measurables.
Because McVay wanted a guy that, fit his style of quarterback that he wanted. And for the most part, Stafford, he's won him a Super Bowl. Now, the question I have is, now that his back's all jacked up.
Yeah, his health.
And here's the thing. Like, when did this happen? Because he was a guy that they were talking about. The Raiders wanted him. The Giants wanted him. And then, of course, he goes back to the Rams. Like, was this a recent... he's kind of always had a few back issues, but when did it present itself this offseason to where, they're questioning whether or not this guy's going to, how much he's going to play in 2025?
Because of his age. That's how... All you have to do is his age. He's in his mid-30s.
Well, no, I get all that, but hell, he's 37, but all I'm saying is you typically aren't going to get... you do physicals, right? I can't imagine that if you did a full-blown physical on Matt Stafford and saw that, wait a minute, this dude's got a degenerative back, let's give him $40 million a year.
No, I don't think it's degenerative. I think something happened.
Okay, right? Okay, that's what I'm getting at, is we never heard what happened, right? Like, was it something in practice where he took a hit? Did he
might not have been even that. At his age, he could have just
gotten out of bed wrong.
Wasn't
using your pillow.
Wasn't using the pillow. Exactly.
The feathers.
It might have been the feathers.
But here's the thing about Stafford. Stafford won a Super Bowl. Before he won a Super Bowl, there were people who said he sucked. He had all the measurables. He did all these things, and he was carrying Detroit.
Now, see, I was going to say, anybody that said
not you, but there were people who were saying that. And then when he goes to the Rams, they were mad that what are they doing again? He sucks.
Let me tell you something. Anybody that's a fantasy football nerd, and I dabble from time to time in the fantasy realm. Stafford's been a dog.
Yes, always.
Stafford. I've said for years, Matt Stafford was a poor man's Aaron Rodgers, because Matt could fling it,
man.
But he was with Detroit when Detroit. But this was pre Dan Campbell when
they would say, "Oh, he had Megatron." They would never give him the credit because the quarterback's supposed to win the whole damn thing. And here's the other part about it. We've been keeping up with Stafford forever because he went to Highland Park High School.
Yeah,
and you know who his partner in crime was?
Was it Kershaw?
Kershaw.
Yeah.
But at one point, a few years ago, they were the highest paid player in their sport at the same time.
And
they were teammates on the football team, teammates on the baseball team.
That's crazy.
And it's crazy. But also, when Stafford won his Super Bowl in L.A., Kershaw, of course, won the World Series in L.A. It's like they had to go to L.A. to get their props. Both of them probably Hall of Famers.
Let's see. Here we go. So they said Stafford is going to work out with the Rams. Worked out with them yesterday, so we'll keep an eye on that, because that's a Rams team that's actually could do some things.
Yes. Oh, they're dangerous.
Hell, they almost beat the Eagles last year in the NFC Championship game.
They knocked out Minnesota, who was hot at the time. Everybody thought Sam Darnold had figured it out, and then the Rams got him.
Well,
I'm just like everybody pauses
Jared
until
Verse went nuts on them boys
yes,
last
he
year.
Did.
And Sam Darnold kind of fell back to earth.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you kind of had a feeling that was going to happen with the way Detroit just beat the brakes off of him in Week 18, and then it'll be interesting to see what he does this year with the Seattle team. I think he's kind of following this Geno Smith track a little bit, as far as, all right, kind of discarded, then resurrects his career a little bit. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out as we move on forward. Jackson Dart, another, and of course, Corey Majors, if you listen to KNC Masterpiece, he is a huge Jackson Dart guy. Real quick from our boy Wooly Bully. Shout out to our boy Zach Wolchuk, who Tolos with the best of them.
Wooly Bully.
I had said prior to the last break, when we were ranting a little bit about Joe Milton and the backup quarterback situation with your Dallas Cowboys, why didn't they, why weren't they more aggressive in going after Trey Lance? And from the Woolly Bully, the wooliest of the bully himself, Cowboys offered Lance a deal towards the end of the last season, and but he and his agent declined. They thought they would get more in free agency. So that's from Mr. Zach Wolchuk. You can hear him every Monday through Friday on the G-Bag Nation, as well as on the postgame show, and Love of the Star as well. So that kind of makes sense. But again, that kind of dovetails with what you and I were talking about last night as well, with another former Dallas athlete here in the DFW.
Yes.
QG. Quentin. Q-Dot.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about Quentin Grimes, Mavericks point guard, who looked great last season, and then they traded him the day after they traded Luka.
Having a career year.
And everybody was like, how could they just trade it? He just gave away. And who they get back?
Caleb Martin, who
was injured.
Who was hurt and did not look great last year.
It was pure business deal.
Yeah.
Quentin Grimes, who I think he's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's not a malcontent. Yeah. Quentin Grimes, he was good. He was healthy.
Yeah.
And he was going to command a big contract. The Mavericks should only match it. Yeah, that's what Mavericks should only match it.
Thought he was.
It was like, wait a minute, we won't have the cap space to do this. So they traded for a guy who had 3 years. He's under contract for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so Quentin Grimes plays with Philadelphia, has a career year for him.
Yeah.
And his agent, who thinks he's all that, is like, nobody's giving us what we want.
And he's still unsigned.
He's still unsigned. So let's fast forward to Trey Lance and Joe Milton. Trey Lance was going to be up. His contract's going to be up. And guess what? Joe Milton's locked in for 3 years. It's just that simple.
No, I mean, look, it does make a lot of sense.
And we're not talking about starters. We're talking about young guys, backups. And, of course, fans just love upside. Projection is a sport. Quentin Grimes could have been. Trey Lance might have been.
You just wonder, should
Joe Milton will be.
Hindsight's always 20/20, Chris.
Always.
You know that. Do you offer a guy like a Trey Lance a contract before that final year?
No.
Maybe would you have done it after the preseason, or maybe you just give him something bare minimum, right? See if he'll bite on it. Obviously, he didn't. Gets a $2 million deal with the Chargers, and again, he's working himself through it again.
He's earning it.
He's only 24, 25.
Exactly.
I mean, he's still a young guy. The nice thing is unlike Joe Milton, who, oh, by the way, Joe Milton's only in year 2.
Correct.
Right? So maybe we can also take some, there's some solace in knowing he's still, he seems old for only being 25 years old and only being 2 years in the league, but at the very least, like, okay, maybe he just continues to need more time.
Well, let me slow down right here. The co-host on Saturday, Jake Riekma.
Yeah.
He's been covering Joe Milton since he was in high school.
He has.
In Michigan. And before he got to Tennessee with R.J. Choppy's Vols, he's the same guy.
I know.
In other words, he has not seen, the arm got even stronger. Or guess what? He's figured some things out. He says he's exactly the same guy. And what did your guy Teddy from Boston Radio say? Teddy Johnson?
Same thing.
He's the same guy.
This is a guy that at 25 years old, and
he's a nice guy.
He's a super nice guy.
But he's got no issues off the field.
And that's it, right? That's the tantalizing part about it. Again, he looks the part, he sounds the part, he's a good guy off the field. So you say to yourself, I can work with this dude. And it sounds like he puts the work in, right? So it's like, at what point is it supposed to click? And maybe that's the end all be all, Chris Arnold, is that it just never will.
That's the thing.
Is it just never will. All right, we'll take a little DFW sidestep next segment. We'll kind of do a little Cowboys and Rangers combo. Where are things at right now as they currently stand? We've got 1 week left before this preseason's over with. And dare I say, you've got 1 week left before this Rangers season is over with. Ugh. We'll discuss it more. Don't go anywhere.
Our goal is to be your Buc-ee's of radio. You know, where you stay for a while. Except we can't promise our bathrooms are going to be clean with these guys. Stick around. More laughs and sports ahead right here on The Fan, the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and TuneIn app.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call Trajan today at 469-579-3500. That's 469-579-3500.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better.
Do you think it's true that you've got to forget something else to remember that Uber Eats has groceries?
No, that's absurd. Hey, remember when you used to be what was it, Pepper Lady?
Pepper Lady? Wasn't it Cinnamon Sisters?
Basil Babes.
Saffron Squad?
Nutmeg Maidens?
Pre-Curl?
No.
Nutmeg Maidens?
I just said that. Was it Spice Girls?
Doesn't sound right.
Was it Saffron Squad?
That's theontimeexperts.com. The On Time Experts, the exclusive choice of the consumer team.
This segment of 105.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Frankels. If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, call Frankel first. 214-817-333-3333. With Frankel and Frankel, there's never an out-of-pocket cost, and they only get paid when you win. Frankel and Frankel, go-to car truck wreck attorneys in Dallas.
Funky monkey.
You already know what time it is. If you want a little brass monkey this Thursday, do it after you compete in the Fan Phenom competition. Yes, that's right. Opportunity number 3 this Thursday happens at Jake's Burgers. We're going down to Fort Worth, 515 Main Street. Jake's Burgers, 515 Main Street in Fort Worth. Your chance to win the opportunity to join our team as a host. Plus, it's a great opportunity to just give it a try. You know you've always wanted to. Wooliest of the Bully, a.k.a. Zach Wolchuk. He's a Tolo. Already chimed in, gave us a little information on the Trey Lance stuff, so you guys know what you're getting with our boy Wooly Bully on Thursday. You said, Chris, that a lot of people knew what they wanted to talk about when you did the auditions this past Thursday.
Yes, know what you want to talk about, but also you might want to practice and go at least 3 minutes. In other words, record yourself on your phone, go 3 minutes, because the last thing you want to do is have a short take, and then I wind up having to ask you a lot of questions, and then guess what? You're just being interviewed, and you're not hosting.
Nobody likes a 1 minute man. Okay?
That's what she said.
Nobody likes a 1 minute man. Or woman.
Or woman.
For that matter.
And
okay?
we had some ladies try out,
too. It was a woman,
too.
though, right?
Huh?
If it was a woman, you could...
So you can keep going, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to be a 10-second man right now.
Look at my man tongue-tied over here. He's like, well, if I can get it in 1 minute, I've done something right. Look at that. Look at that. But that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So don't show up and ask. Now, that was the one thing, and again, that's why I was asking about, opportunity number 2. How many people came up and said, hey, what do I talk about? Because that was a prevailing theme on the first audition, was people kept coming up and saying, well, what do you want me to talk about? I don't know. It's your audition. I mean, we're just here to play the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like,
we're here to react. We might introduce the segment.
Yeah,
you might want a quarterback, but if we introduce a segment, it's up to you to tell your opinions.
And look, I get it. It's Chris Arnold. Everybody's kind of awestruck, and they see Chris Arnold, and they see the three-time, and they want to do an interview. But that's not what Chris is here for.
No,
Chris is here to raise
your game.
Okay. What is it? High tide rises all boats.
That's
something
it.
like that. Something like that. I don't know. You'd think for a guy that was in the Navy, I would know that.
You should know that. Yeah.
I was an aviation guy. Okay.
Wait.
I joined the Navy to see the world, and they sent me to Maine. All right.
Trevor,
not my fault.
Trevor, I got to tell you something. I knew Fred was a Navy guy for real. When last night he has his cell phone in the press box on the table, and his time on the table was not regular time.
It's 24-hour clock.
24-hour clock. For everybody on the 24-hour
It said
clock.
the time it said 2014. I'm like, it's 8:14.
That's it.
Fred's on that
people.
Navy
There's
time.
military and medical. Those are the two people that like they live off that.
Well,
crazy
police do as well. And then in the oil and gas world, they use the 24-hour clock.
I didn't know that. Radio sure does, man. I'm having to learn a lot of things when I do junk, man.
By the way, have you talked to Lucius, because he's a Navy guy too?
Oh, absolutely. No, Lucius and I have chit-chatted a few times
I think he was in Norfolk.
I don't know. I was going to say, I was in Maine.
Up there with Cooper Flagg's family.
That's right. Who, again, as I've said before.
That's not your son?
Not my kinfolk. Ironically enough, though, him and my son do share a birthday. True story. His son, Cooper Flagg's birthday is December 21st. He was born in 2006. My son is December 21st, 2007.
That's something.
So, but my daughter was born in Maine. So again, awfully.
Has he got any Colombian blood in him? I'm curious.
I don't know. But see, here's the thing. I was already out of the state by the time Cooper Scene came on. Cooper Flag came on the scene.
9 months, brother.
What's that?
Gestation is 9 months.
No, I get that. I mean, I'm well aware. I've had 2 children, but I've created 2 children. I didn't have them. I just did the practicing.
You were the Minuteman.
That's right. Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
My
See,
bad.
Now you've gone too far. Now you've gone too far. Thank you very much. No, let's see. I was out of Maine in 2003 is when I was gone. So haven't been back since.
We got a Rangers question from the 817.
Let's get it. Let's answer it.
Jake Burger have a sponsorship from Jake's Burgers?
You know, that's a great question. One that I don't have an answer to.
Not yet.
What's he got? A 3-year deal? 2-year deal?
Something like that.
Jake Burger. I look right now. Jake just needs to start hitting.
Exactly.
I don't think eating burgers.
He can't sell burgers.
And I look. I appreciate the question from the 817. 100%.
What Jake needs is a boomstick.
He needs something. That
Rangers
whole
sell those boomsticks, but they need a bat. They need a bat like Nelly Cruz.
A burger bomb.
Not a glove like Nelly Cruz, but a bat like Nelly Cruz.
No, you look. You wonder. Rowdy pitched yesterday, but that was more just because you
save the arms.
You've already exhausted your bullpen.
Exactly.
Okay, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday. You look at the additions this team's made. I mean, here's the thing: you're over, and this is where you and I were talking about yesterday a little, and we chatted this up a little bit during crosstalk. But this is the first time you and I have done a show together for about a month or so. Is they went ahead and went into the luxury tax.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like they're over the luxury tax right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're over the $241 million, right? And I mean, and again, so that's where I'm going with it from yesterday's conversation. You and I were talking about it with Jake and Blake. Is were the deals that they wanted to make, and clearly look,
trade deadline.
I get that from the trade deadline standpoint. If you're trying to get a bat and the other team says, all right, well, unless it's Sebastian Wilcott, we're not doing it, right? And to your point, I don't blame you for that. I'm not mortgaging Sebastian Wilcott. Now, if you're going to tell me I'm getting a guy, a big bat that I've got under control for the next 4 or 5 years, and all I got to give up is Sebastian Wilcott, then maybe I do. Maybe I do give that guy up. Because as we talked about yesterday, look, I don't know what you're going to get out of Evan Carter.
His back.
Okay. And
that's the only thing. That's
it. And that's something that, think about it. And again, I'm dating myself here, but CA can appreciate this. Scottie Pippen's career was never the same after his back got hurt.
Larry Bird, too.
Larry Bird, never the same after his back got hurt.
Troy Aikman.
Okay. Troy Aikman. I mean, all-time greats. You can bounce back, pun intended, from a knee injury. You can bounce back from an Achilles. All right. Maybe not the same, but you can still do it. Back injuries, guys are never the same after it. Now, people might be texting me and saying, well, Fred, look, Larry was old, Scotty was old, this happens. But, Scotty was always a shutdown type of dude.
Correct.
Larry was an all-time great. And again, when that back injury happened, it ended their careers. They were a shell of themselves at that point.
So it goes back to Evan Carter. He's young.
He's
but guess
22,
what? He
man.
should not be having this.
That's the thing. And he's already had surgery.
He was the secret weapon. He was the X factor when they won the World Series because he came up from the minors when they were struggling in August. It's like, whoa, who is this kid? And he was just nails. He was patient at the plate and he was making plays in the outfield. And then all of a sudden, in the offseason, his back. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then we've been dealing with this for 2 years now.
And it was an issue last year.
Oh yeah, Prince Fielder's back. 817 says that. Prince Fielder too.
It's just that's the thing with back injuries. Again, if you're an older guy, it pretty much is the death knell of your career, right?
Yep.
Like you go ahead and cancel Christmas, that's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this kid's only 22 years old and is already having back issues, and it's not like they go away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to worry about when it comes to an Evan Carter. Wyatt Langford, we discussed him as far as, okay, he's been good. I wouldn't say he's been great this year.
No,
now,
not for the hype.
Not for the hype. And for a kid,
he came in supposedly.
Well, this kid was supposed to be the next Mike Trout.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And he's got the measurables and the baseball IQ. It just hasn't happened.
Well,
he's been good, but he hasn't been all-star.
Look, and don't take this from us. I mean, Brett Boone came on these airwaves a month and a half ago and told RJ and Choppy that he was a carbon copy of Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I mean, we're talking Bo Jackson before or after the hip injury.
Speaking of injuries,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being tongue in cheek here, but I mean that's the thing about you. This is and maybe again, and we got a lot of microcosms going on here, but when you've got a pitching staff, and let's go ahead and just delineate this right now. because I think we almost have to. The pitching staff, the starting pitching staff, has been good.
Solid.
Your bullpen is starting to be a problem, and a major problem. And this is where, if you're Chris Young, you knew going into this season you couldn't have a closer by. Luke Jackson wasn't a closer.
Nope.
Okay? Think about it this way. Everybody that you thought could be a closer has turned out not to be one. Okay? Luke Jackson, not a closer. Robert Garcia, not a closer. Phil Maton, not a closer. All right?
Not the closer.
Not the closer.
Not a ninth inning. They're a bullpen, but they're not a closer.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, did you do a good job of putting together good bullpen arms? Yes, you did. We know that about Chris Young. He's damn good at that. All right? But the two things you knew you needed, and you know, look, I'm not going to beat him up necessarily for the Jake Berger and the Jock Peterson. Maybe a little bit on the Jock Peterson, because when you look at Jock Peterson's history, all right, the year before he was batting .270 and had 20-plus home runs, okay? So you're saying to yourself, all right, well, I mean, look, nobody saw him falling off a cliff. But guess what, CA? Year before that, he batted .235, okay? 4 years ago, he batted .190. Okay, my point in all that is that yes, does he have the boomstick sometimes? 100%. But is he wildly erratic behind the plate as far as a consistency and batting average standpoint? Yes, he is. And unless you don't get, unless you're Barry Bonds, you don't get better with age. And we know why he got better with age. All right, and it wasn't natural. Juice. Okay, and I like Barry Bonds.
The clear and the cream.
But there's just something to that. So, you bet on guys getting back to form, which outside of Corey Seager, they haven't. Marcus Semien has been okay, but he's still batting .222.
He started slow and then he got it right.
And now he's kind of he's been just kind of up and down since then. All right? I mean, look, let's be real. All with all intents and purposes. Does he play a great second base? 100%. But am I paying Marcus Semien $35 million a year to bat .222?
Nope. And he's not even the leadoff hitter anymore.
And he's not even your leadoff hitter.
And he's not an all-star anymore.
Okay.
So all those things. So this is where we are. And going back to the trade deadline, you were talking about the boomstick. We were talking about some pitching, closer in particular. And I was saying yesterday, see why I get some elbow room, because he delivered the World Series. But he also did that World Series year. He brought in the closer, Chapman. Yeah. And I think what made him hesitate on the closer this year, I don't know if it's just the money. I don't know what the deal was. Yeah. And that money's beyond him because it's the owners, all right? But I think he also got seduced by Robert Garcia. I think Robert Garcia reminded him of, some kid named Jose Leclerc who wound up being the de facto closer with Chapman all through the World Series. I mean, the playoffs. And Leclerc, I was always afraid for him out there. I said, he's got this little baby face like Pharrell Williams. I'm like, he looked like Pharrell. He looked too happy to be a closer. Yeah. And he would, it would get tense, and then he'd come through. And I'm thinking Garcia in July made them think, well, we're good.
Right.
And they are good because Garcia went over the cliff. Now, why they can't seem to straighten it out right now, I'm trying to remember if we talked about this in the press box, but I did talk to I was talking to Trevor about this before we got on the air. The way this team is built, they're so veteran, and the couple of young guys are so young. What's his name? The guy that said the Rangers aren't like the Braves.
Kevin Pillar.
Pillar wasn't dogging them. He was just talking about two different styles. The reason the Rangers are in big trouble with these 38 games left is because when he described them as not being emotional, not necessarily just hanging out together, he complimented them because this is the biggest baseball comment. They go about their business the right way.
Yeah.
They do. They execute. I'm talking about practice, routines, all those things. No issues off the field. He was talking about the Braves being very emotional. Well, with this group being veteran and almost like robots and no emotional leader, Garcia Adolis is emotional, but he's not a leader.
He's not a leader.
Seager is Troy Aikman. Semien is Emmitt Smith. There's no Michael Irvin.
No.
And Boch is too old to be Jimmy Johnson. Boch might retire. Boch is going to keep it smooth. So because they don't have an emotional leader right now,
you're seeing
they
what
know
you're seeing.
you're seeing what you're seeing, and they also have been through so many close games this year. It has worn.
I was gonna you hit the nail on the head right
Not
there.
just the starting rotation, all of them.
This team is emotionally beat down.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like there is something to be said for that. You talked about we've talked about this before. When you're a young team,
you don't know any better.
You don't know any better, and you know what?
Hey, we'll get out of this.
The close losses harden you, right?
Yes,
because you
you're
know
learning.
that there's, you take those lumps because guess what? There's something bigger on the horizon.
Yeah.
You're on your trajectory isn't going up, your trajectory is going down, right?
now.
And so you're trying to find out, the old what hills and valleys type thing, and so you're trying to climb back up that hill again. And I don't know that you have the mental makeup to, look, you've lost 8 out of 9 games.
Yeah, only won 4 games since the trade deadline. They're 4-11.
Yeah, no, you've
and they're older. They've seen this before. And they know how this movie ends.
Well, plus, you went into the deadline. You didn't get what you needed to get. And look, don't think that's
good,
not
but
lost on the guys.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't going
to be a savior.
To your strength.
They didn't get a savior.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't even get a guy that you didn't even get the guy that could help shut things down. That let's just say this: you lose 8 out of 9. Let's say if you had a closer, maybe you only lose 4 of those. And guess what? Right now, you're 65-58.
Boom.
And it's a different story, and we're talking about a totally different baseball team. That is the 3-time Hall of Famer, Chris Arnold. I'm Fred Davis. Coming up next, it's time for a little fair or foul right here on 105.3 The Fan.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
name you trust in any market.
We make leasing easy at P&M.
This segment on 105.3 The Fan is brought to you by Classic Chevrolet. If you're in the market to upgrade your vehicle, get to Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine. Back-to-back #1 Chevy dealership in the world. They got more new Chevys than anyone, all priced to sell. Silverado, Tahoe, Blazers, Malibu, Equinox, and more. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Relax and enjoy the difference. Based on new Chevy registrations 2023 and 2024.
No better place to get training camp coverage of your Dallas Cowboys than right here on 105.3 The Fan, an Odyssey station. And, of course, Odyssey Sports training camp coverage is brought to you nationally by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico today. And that goes for each and every one of you listening out there, whether it's on the Odyssey app or on the terrestrial app or wherever you get your 105.3 The Fan. Oh, are we on the fan cam today?
Yes, sir.
See, I can't.
There's no way. The studio's dark.
Yeah, how's it look real quick? Go ahead and take this phone bank screen off so we can see. I haven't gotten any complaints from Carter Freeman yet this morning.
We've got the lights off in the studio.
Oh, that's right, because I set the tone.
We just have the ambiance of
That's exactly
outside.
right.
The daylight makes it look okay now.
There you go.
So
I like the natty light.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, my eyeballs can't see what they used to be able to see back in the day. Here we go. It is time for a little fair or foul. I had a. There you go. That's not bad. Yeah, you can see us. You can see us clear as day. All right, here we go. Time for a little fair or foul. You guys know what that music means. I'm going to read a story, and you guys will determine whether or not it's fair or foul. A national recent poll has revealed that reading
is fundamental.
It's absolutely fundamental. So is listening.
A commercial.
That reading is considered the most attractive hobby that a man can have, according to women surveyed.
Really?
The findings suggest that intellectual curiosity, depth of thought, and the ability to engage in meaningful conversations are highly appealing traits. Reading is often associated with intelligence, empathy, and self-improvement, qualities that many women say are more desirable than purely physical attributes. The hobby can also foster stronger emotional connections, as well-read individuals are often perceived as better communicators and listeners. Experts believe that the resurgence of reading culture, aided by book clubs and social media communities, has helped shift dating perspective toward partners who value personal growth and lifelong learning. Fair or foul? Reading is the most attractive hobby a man can have, according to women.
bull crap.
All right, Tolos text in, ladies and gentlemen, both of you. 877-881-1053. That's the Franklin Frankel Injury Attorneys text line. Do you believe this? I think this is just dreaming.
Yes.
I think this is
baloney.
This is like when somebody says, "What's your favorite kind?" Oh, I like jazz. You don't listen to jazz. You're just saying that.
I mean, if
you're
this,
trying to sound intellectual.
I mean, if this was the case, Carter Freeman would be Ron Jeremy.
Bro, I'd be Peter North.
Peter North. Another one.
Where's my bell? Where's my bell? Good call. Good call.
I'm just saying, like they're full of crap. They're dreaming.
Well,
I can't tell you how many times I go sit somewhere and as I've gotten older, eating by myself and doing things by myself and go and read. Not one. I couldn't tell you one girl.
You haven't been approached by a woman yet.
Wow,
I love your mind.
Oh my, no, get out of here. Like they think they want that. I mean, again, I'm getting real objective and
now comic books don't count.
Oh, my graphic novels here over here.
Well, Trevor, you do read movies, the subtitles. You have it on, right?
I read. I've got a book right now that it's phenomenal. I'm loving it, but it's one of those things. Like I think they're full of crap.
There's a lot of guys under the age of 30. They only read text.
From the 817, no, this is absolutely real fair. Okay. From the 469, musicians are the most attractive. Women love us.
That's why they go in. That's why they do that.
Well, what is that?
That's why they would do it for the women. A lot of guys join bands or try to be recording artists because they say, "I'm gonna get the women."
From the 817, Fred, your bell is across the table from you on the other side of your computer. How does he know this?
Because they can see it on the fan cam.
How does he know this? Oh, he does. That's right. It is. That's right. We had another bell.
Had another one. I don't know what happened.
We had another bell. I'm going to go buy a bell. Thank you.
Because that's a nice. That's like a doorman's bell.
That is a nice bell. No, that is a nice bell. But we need a bell for both sides of the table here.
I think most guys don't even have a bookcase in their apartment anymore. I think most guys don't even have a bunch of books.
I can show you all. I got a bookcase. I got a bookcase.
You get a case full of books too. Okay, all right.
Plastic's great. Like it's awesome. You know.
The people have bookcases because they're on Zoom and they want to look intellectual.
Well, that's the other part of it too, right?
That's decoration.
All right. So what say you? You've been married for a long time, so you've been out of the game. But how did you and your wife meet, by the way? At a library?
No, at a bowling alley. It's the craziest thing. No, there's a bowling alley in Oak Cliff, North Oak Cliff. They turned it into a Home Depot now, but it was a place that you could go to concerts and stuff too.
Okay,
it was a concert. It was like what bowling alleys kind of do now. They're more than just a bowling alley.
You got to be.
And it was called the Bronco Bowl.
Okay,
and we met at the Bronco Bowl, and then the next thing you know,
now is your wife from Dallas?
No, well, she grew up in Arlington.
Okay,
but her whole family's from New York. Her dad transferred down here to work at GM.
Okay.
So everybody in her family, they're from just north of the Bronx.
Okay. All right.
Her dad's a Jets fan and all that kind of stuff.
Jets.
So
he looks like James Earl Jones. Got a deep voice like James Earl Bones.
That's right. I remember you telling that story about that. Yeah, that's right.
Let's see. Here we go. From let's see. I'm 36 and I got a bookcase full of Warhammer Bleep.
Hey, Warhammer, let's go.
From the 817, porn mags don't count.
That don't count.
That's fair.
Okay.
Also, is it 40K Warhammer or do you play Age of Sigmar? Curious.
Okay, here we go. From the 817, I have 3 bookcases full of books and my wife loves that I read.
Well, yeah, you're already married.
You're already married, so it doesn't count.
Married,
what about guys that listen to books on Kindle?
See, that's a great question. That's a great question.
So
on Audible.
I'll push
Audible.
back on it. Yep. There's a difference between listening to a book and reading a book.
No, absolutely, 100%.
It's not doing the same thing mentally for you.
It's not.
So just so everybody knows, maybe read along while you listen to the book.
There are some guys that only read when they're in the bathroom.
Absolutely, and that's not good because you will get a hemorrhoid.
Well, if you sit there too long.
That's absolutely correct.
If you sit there too
long.
long.
Don't do that.
But with today's technology, I find it amazing. I find it amazing that people actually read books. Because you can Google and look up anything you need. And you get caught up on name a social media site and you're reading everything.
Mm-hmm.
You might not be reading a book, but you're reading all kinds of things because that's how you learn, because you have to be able to read.
Spotify's doing Audible books now, too.
I saw that. I saw that.
That's great.
From the 469, why don't porn mags count? LOL. See, we got a
because you're not reading.
Going over here.
You're looking. You're not reading. You're looking. Well, there's an article I read in Playboy.
From the 940. Let's see. Hold on. We got a few more. We got text flying in here. Fair. Women definitely find it attractive. So.
But wait a minute. How come then they always want bad guys then?
I was about to say, like,
what happened to
this is such a double standard, man.
See, because this is what traditionally women like to do. The ones that want to get married, they want a guy that can change. They want a bad guy.
I don't disagree
that they
with you
can say, you know what, I can turn him into something because I see something in him that nobody else sees. That's why they are attracted to bad guys.
No, they absolutely are. Let's see.
They never want the good guy.
Let's see. From the 214, Latrette from Dallas. What up, fellas? On this Sunday morning, hey CA, main event stole their concept from Bronco Bowl.
I believe that.
So
that's
there you
exactly
go.
What it was. Bronco Bowl was amazing. The greatest concerts would be at that Bronco Bowl. I kid you not.
601's got a great point. I'd rather Tolo than read. It'd be hard to do both.
That's true.
So I'm not mad at you for that.
Actually, when I'm toloing at my house, in my little office in there, got the radio on, and I'm going through the internet and I'm reading and toloing.
I was going to say I'm at the point now where I tolo quite a bit, as you guys well know. I will tolo or have the radio on or the app playing in the background while doing other things as well.
This last one I think they nailed it. Read that one, the guys.
Okay, from the 817. Guys, it's not a pickup line, but once you do meet somebody and they find out you read, it's an attractive part for them. Trevor is shaking his head. No, you're not
literally
buying
the last
it.
2 girls I talked to. It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
I will
Nothing
say
matters. I
this.
bought the girl a book. God, I spent $30.
You bought her a book?
I bought her a book.
What book did you buy her?
She's into ancient...
Kama Sutra? Well, that might have been part of the problem.
Negative. No,
maybe you should have.
She's into ancient Rex, and that's what I bought her a book about.
Ancient Rex in Effect? Ancient Rex in Effect? Did you tell her all you want to do is zoom, in your boom, boom?
No.
That's probably the problem.
I didn't do it. I didn't boom in the
Rex
zoom
in
enough.
Effect.
Final
Teddy
hour of the program.
Wait.
What?
940 says women looking for more than one night of love. One night, love men who read. And that's big picture because maybe they say, you know what? If he reads, he can take care of me.
That's it. Or at the very
might
least,
get a
he'll
good
leave,
job.
or at the very least, he'll leave me alone. Last one from
Read
the
that book over there.
619. I'm a Marine, so I didn't have to read.
Jarhead.
Hoorah! Coming up next, final hour of the program. Let's talk with our boy Nick Harris.
Yes, Star Telegram.
He had just as hard a time getting that pizza to separate in the press box as I did. Shout out to our boy Calvin Watkins as well, talking big smack on your boy Freddie D. Lots to get to. Let's talk some Cowboys next. Don't go anywhere.
Take us with you wherever you go. Now heard on the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, Twitch, the TuneIn app, our Odyssey app, and of course with the biggest mother of a radio signal in DFW. Thanks for making your favorite travel buddy 105.3 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Nick at Dowerth Restoration, and I have a question for you business owners out there. What would you do if your building suddenly flooded or caught on fire? Would you be able to deal with your insurance company and keep your business on track? If you're like most, you're too busy to even think about it. That's why you'll love this news. All you have to remember is DowerthRestoration.com. When disaster strikes, we'll be there just like you planned all along. It's good to have friends in the restoration business. DowerthRestoration.com.
Interested in installing solar on your home or small business, but don't know where to start? There is information and help out there for you. Switch Together is a program offered by local governments in Texas and the nonprofit Solar United Neighbors. Registration is free, and participating households are expected to save an average of $6,565 on a typical sized solar installation. Let the sun save you money. Learn more at switchtogether.com/Dallas. Learn more at switchtogether.com/Dallas.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know millions of people are getting prescription medications for weight loss, sexual health, better sleep, and more, all online? RexMD.com has made getting these medications fast and easy, with free delivery of the most popular medications right to your door. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, we'll prescribe and ship clinically proven options to help with issues like weight loss.
I've lost 45 pounds so far.
Do you think it's true that you've got to forget something else to remember that Uber Eats has groceries?
No, that's absurd. Hey, remember when you used to be a, what was it, Pepper Lady? Pepper Lady?
Wasn't it Cinnamon Sisters?
Basil Baby.
Saffron Squad?
Nutmeg Maidens?
Paprika?
No.
Nutmeg Maidens?
I just said that. Was it Spice Girls?
Doesn't sound right.
Was it Saffron Squad?
105.3 The Fan.
Final hour of the program. That is the three-time Hall of Famer Chris Arnold. I'm Fred Davis. We got our boy Trevor, the creator, behind the glass on the 1, 2s, and 3s on a Sunday morning, just kind of cruising on a Sunday morning. We've gotten conflicting reports as to whether or not reading is attractive. Now, let's make this clear. Reading, the ability to read, is attractive. Let's get that straight, because there's some people that just don't know how to read, and I do appreciate anybody that can. So just knowing how to read is attractive. Maybe that's the part that people get misconstrued.
Would anybody think that you can't read, Fred? I'm just curious. Just asking.
No, I can read.
Okay, well, just checking.
You don't talk as much as I do and not at least know how. I mean, look, I can Cat in the Hat. I can green eggs and ham.
What about
Redfish,
all the places
bluefish?
you'll go?
Those. By the way, you guys know that Dr. Seuss was a tyrant when he wasn't writing books.
Is that
Are we aware of this?
I didn't
Are we
know
aware
about
of
the
this?
tyrant
But he wrote some bangers.
He did. I mean, just poignant stuff. I mean, no, but he was kind of a jerk.
Really?
Outside of book writing, yeah. Allegedly,
He was a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
He was a mean one, Mr. Grinch, especially when it came to his wife.
Really?
Left his wife. I don't know which book that was about. Where left my wife, side piece, yes piece is I think what he was talking about. Yeah, I don't know if that's Dr. Seuss.
Let's Google him up.
I'm telling you, Dr. Seuss was about that life.
You know about
man.
Lewis Carroll, the guy that wrote Alice in Wonderland?
I feel like I've heard it, but refresh my memory.
It's not about him. It's about when he wrote it.
What was he on LSD the whole time? Now
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes all the sense
And
in
if
the
you
world.
think about The Wizard of Oz, I forget who wrote The Wizard of Oz, but that whole movie, the poppy seeds, come on, that's heroin field.
You realize that the number of people that got sick from doing that movie. You had like for instance, the lady that was the witch.
Yeah.
Her face was green for like 2 months after the movie was over. Yeah, because the paint they used regular paint on her face. And then you had people that got cancer, and I think she got cancer later on. Then they think it was from the paint on her face. Yeah, no, it was.
It wasn't the poppy seed stuff. Wasn't that what it? Because didn't they use?
That got a lot of people sick too. I mean, hell, Judy Garland.
That was actual.
I mean, hell, they
what do
fat shamed her the entire
mesothelioma
movie.
stuff or whatever. Like gosh, I couldn't tell you. It's like
I don't know. I just know that movie was not for the faint of heart, both to watch it and to make it. And of course,
asbestos, Dylan just came in with asbestos.
What does Dylan know about asbestos? He's not even old enough to know what asbestos is.
He said not
nothing.
much. So.
Exactly. God bless that kid, though. But no, and then on top of it, if you watch, what's the Pink Floyd song? Is it Dark Side of the Moon?
Yes.
If you watch it while you
listen to the whole dark, it's great. It's on YouTube. Everybody, it's phenomenal. It's great. It's beautiful.
But don't you need to be on some sort of substance while doing it?
He's on that Aaron Rodgers.
You don't need to listen to anything or need to take anything to listen to Pink Floyd. You just need to listen to Pink Floyd.
You don't. I mean, of course not.
Focus.
I watch
you can't
it
be
all the
hyper
time.
listening
But in order to watch it or to listen to it while you're watching Wizard of Oz, I was always told that you need to be on some sort of hallucinogenic.
I mean, I've watched it, and I enjoy listening to Pink Floyd and watching Wizard of Oz without anything.
But if you had something with it, it'll really take you there.
It might hit different. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it would.
It might hit different.
Ask Aaron Rodgers.
Speaking of hitting different, do we have that Izzy audio?
I do have that Izzy
All
audio.
right. So speaking of hitting different,
Game last night.
let's reset a few things. Your Dallas Cowboys, newsflash, did not win last night. 31-13, the final score, losing to the Baltimore Ravens. Joe Milton, we talked to him earlier. We may replay that later. We'll see. TBD. I was able to get a quick one-on-one, though, with our boy Izzy McQuamu, who is fighting for a spot. And you guys be the judge. Was I a little too forward with him to start this interview off when asking about this week's defensive performance versus last week's?
105.3 The Fan. Where are we at right now? Game 2. You guys, it felt like the secondary, it seemed like things were a little more locked in this week than last week.
Dang, I thought we was locked in last week, too.
Well, Rams did kind of just march down them first 2 or 3 drives last week. It felt like this week, Baltimore, you guys did a better job of forcing third downs, fourth and fourth downs is what I'm saying.
Preparation, just being out there again and just being locked in. People don't understand, like, it's preseason. Not only is it preseason, but we all getting back to the flow of football. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We all getting back from camp and then going out there and competing against other guys. So we all get into the flow of it. So I think it'll get better each week. But we just got to stay locked into our keys, stay locked into the playbook, and then just play as a unit.
You're no stranger to this. You guys got a lot of youngsters on this group, though. What's kind of your role, and how is this experience that you've got being kind of, without Bland out there, with no Trayvon, like you're one of the elder statesmen out there. What's kind of your role right now with this secondary?
Just going out there and competing. I mean, we all trying to go out there and compete and make plays. At the end of the day, we all play this game. We all grown men, so we all just trying to help each other and go out there and compete.
What's one of the things that you want to work on, and what's one of the things the secondary can get better at going into week 3 of the preseason, and then, where do you see yourself September 4th with the Eagles, against the Eagles?
Just communication, just understanding the playbook and just playing fast. That's what we want to do. That's what we focused on, and just having fun, just keeping the energy alive and just going out there and competing every day.
One thing, and how Stephen Jones has said this, look, we're on radio, so we hear it from fans all the time. People say, look, the cornerback, the secondary is one of the position groups we're worried about. What say Izzy McQuamu?
What says me?
What say you?
What do you mean by that?
What say, if fans and Stephen Jones are saying, hey, secondary is one of the position groups that we're a little concerned about. What say you? Are you worried about it?
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm going to just, whatever happens, happens. But come September 4th, we'll be ready. Even next week, we'll be ready. We just got to keep practicing, keep getting better, and everything will take care of itself. When the time is right, everything will take care of itself.
My man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
you.
Brother. Yes, sir.
You asked him that trick question. What say you?
I think he's ever heard that term before.
I don't. He has not.
What do you have to say?
I'm 100% confident that he has not heard that phrase before.
Right.
What say you?
But the way you started off, he was like, wait a minute. He asking me a for real question here.
Absolutely.
You keeping it real.
You can't sugarcoat what we saw last week.
Correct.
Or
last
don't
night
pretend. And again, you heard me say it to him. He said, I thought we were locked in last week.
Mm-hmm.
Stetson Bennett and me and new guy Jake were texting about this last night. Stetson Bennett hung up 31 on you last week. Okay? That's not a secondary that was locked in.
He thought he was in Georgia.
You know what I'm saying? Look, don't get me wrong. Izzy had an insane interception last week.
He did.
And was really the highlight.
Highlight.
Outside of Izzy and Zion Childress last week, what are we talking about as far as the rest of the secondary last week? It was a lot of missed tackles, and it was a lot of guys chasing the ball.
Guys that don't need to be starting games in the NFL. The guys who are starters are banged up, except for Bland, and Bland's in bubble wrap.
Well, absolutely, right? And the thing is, when you're watching this, we know, and look, Kaiir Elam looked halfway decent yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, in limited action. But you had, again, Duran's out. Trayvon Diggs, I don't think he's going to be ready week 1. It certainly doesn't feel that way. Mm-hmm. Okay, we saw Revel last night. As far as we saw him walking to the locker room in street clothes yesterday. He had his jersey on, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be a pupless guy when the season starts. Okay, so my point in all that is what you're watching right now. Excuse me. What you're watching right now is who in this secondary would be viable and serviceable on a real NFL field on a Sunday.
They got to make a trade.
Okay. They're going to have to pick somebody up off the street, okay? Because outside of Zion Childress, look, Kamon Hall had a pick yesterday, okay?
Troy Pride looked decent, but no.
Looked decent, but
no.
Decent against second and third string guys, okay? So my point in all that is that outside of Izzy and Zion Childress, and again, that's still a long, tall ask, is Izzy's really the only guy that you might feel comfortable with plugging and playing on a Sunday and saying, okay, at least he knows what the game speed is, and I don't think he's going to be overwhelmed by what happens on a Sunday.
Correct, but here's what's so hard about these games. You can't figure this team out by just these 2 games.
No, you can't. That's the other issue.
Maybe the coaches, when they're looking at the tape, not just from the game, but practices and whatnot, they see some things that they're working on individually, but overall, from a media point of view or somebody just watch it from the game as a fan, you have no idea because you haven't seen starters.
Right.
You haven't seen a mass. You haven't seen a full unit of starters, no matter what unit we're talking about. Offensively, defensively, the only things that work are the special teams. You just know for a fact Kevontae Turpin can do what he normally does. He's going to be a Pro Bowler again because he's got that speed.
Yeah.
And then you know that Anger is going to punt the hell out of the ball, and you know that Brandon Aubrey is butter. That's all you know, and the holder is a holder. That's all you know. And everything else is like, I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you got a couple more guys banged up. Fant is...
Princeton Fant?
Yeah, Fant.
Yeah.
I call him Fant. Fant, he hurt his shoulder on that bomb.
Well, he about fainted because the ball actually hit him in the hands last night.
Yes, that was a nice pass from Will Greer. And then he got hurt on the play.
Yeah.
And then, what's his name? The big wide receiver from Carolina. He's hurt.
Who? Oh, our boy, who? Mingo?
Mingo.
Yeah, no, Mingo's got a PCL potentially.
Isn't that something? They got to do an MRI on him. So don't get me wrong. Not that we were counting on him to do a bunch of stuff, but we thought this might be the year.
I thought Jonathan Mingo, for as much flack as that poor guy took last year, because he was, everybody, they traded a 4th-round pick. First of all, it's not Mingo's fault that they traded a 4th-round pick for him. Okay,
Exactly.
That's not his fault,
No.
and it's not his fault that the regime last year, Mike McCarthy and them, didn't want to throw him the rock, didn't want to use him. He's gotten open this year. Okay, I mean, he had a step on old boy. Now, he had safety help over the top, so maybe that's why the cornerback was okay letting him go by. But he had the deep pass on the right. He was open on the left. All right. Mingo has gotten open consistently. It's not his fault that Joe Milton hasn't been able to find him.
And that's why we can't judge this team.
No, we can't.
Because you haven't had Dak throwing the ball. You haven't had starters making plays that could cover up the crap you saw yesterday.
And is what say you? Is that an odd phrase? I mean, I've heard that phrase my entire life.
Depends on where you're from.
That's
Seriously.
Fair. But that was a.
It's not odd. It just depends on where you're from.
So
it's like somebody saying howdy in New York. Howdy.
What are you saying to me?
What are you talking about? You talking to
He's
me?
a jock, not an intellectual. So you got to be an intellectual to know what say you means?
No, that just means you have to be well versed. Not an intellectual. That means you have to
read.
That means, okay, I'll give you an example. I give you an
He's
example.
not found attractive by the opposite
I'll give you an
sex.
example. There's a talk show host who got to this market a few years ago, and he thought Cowboys were hillbillies. He thought people in Texas who were in the country, not city, were hillbillies. I said, no.
No.
Those are cowboys. I said, it's like there's ranches here. There's plantations in the South. There's no plantations in Texas. Not real. They call them ranches.
Yeah.
He seriously thought hillbillies were from Texas. I said, no, that's Tennessee. That's Kentucky.
I mean, there's some hillbillies from Texas.
Don't get me wrong, but we're talking about cowboys.
Yeah.
You don't go.
Yeah.
People don't walk around Texas talking about hillbillies.
You can't
say that people who live in the countryside in Texas are hillbillies. That's
No, I mean, it's not fair to make a blanket statement about it.
And he was doing that. I'm trying to help you here, Fred. Saying that you just got to know.
Yeah,
and that's not being intellectual. It's just knowing.
No, it's true. That's true. That just wasn't a good question. LOL. What say you? Fred with the weird phrases. What say you? LOL.
I thought it was fine, Fred. I had no problem with how I heard exactly what you were trying to say, and I think you just didn't pick it up. That's all.
And look, in no disrespect to Izzy, like I said, he just probably hadn't heard it before.
Correct.
You know, and so I don't, like I said, and once I explained it to him, okay, hey, go ahead and run with it. So, hey, we try, and I'll tell you what, Izzy knows now.
Now he knows.
Izzy knows what say you means, okay? And that's really all that matters. I do, look, at the very least, I do appreciate what he said. Okay, he gave great answers. Number one, let's get that straight. Number one,
awesome, man.
And once once we got over the whole, come on, man, You know. Now, again, he might have been locked in last, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe he felt like, okay, I was locked in last week, but come on, man. You know that offense was doing whatever they wanted the first half.
Exactly, which is why they're.
But let me ask you something, real quick, because we got CA stories coming up here in a second. And I thought about this when I was driving into the station this morning. The fact that he was taken aback by that I would ask him, you guys weren't locked in last week. You seem like you were more locked in this week, and he was taken aback by that. Does that concern you at all that maybe over the last week of practice it wasn't brought up, the fact that defense didn't look good last week?
No, I can't make that leap. I just think that maybe he was surprised that you started your questions like that.
Yeah. But he would I guess I'm just saying, like,
because in his mind, I was locked in. I can't speak for the rest of them.
Yeah. Huh, interesting. I just, like I said, I was kind of, that jumped to my mind. I was like, but when you're in the DB room, it's not like the DB, you can't tell me that they weren't coached up or at least told, look, guys, we can't have a first half like that again. Like that was not a good first half for the Cowboys secondary last week, right? I mean, somebody had to tell them that, right?
Flus had to tell them, yeah.
I'd like to, all I'm saying is this. I just sure hope that yesterday wasn't the first time somebody said something disparaging about their performance last week against the Rams.
Over and under 7.
Man. where you
7 wins, 7.5, is that what they said? I don't know about this team. I can't even tell you right now. I have no idea what they're going to do.
Where are you taking us next?
Spike Lee, Denzel Washington. We go way back. Some crazy stories next on 105.3 The Fan.
What say Izzy McQuamu?
What says
Our
me?
goal is to have you winning every sports debate with your buds. We'll do the homework. You just listen and enjoy. Turn it on and leave it on. The Fan and our Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
Worried about market losses? If headlines...
Saying that,
arms are folding all over the.
You know what time it is. Time for a little City Story Confidential.
Appreciate you, Fred. Appreciate you, Trevor. Appreciate all totals allowing me to tell some of these stories. Want to go to the text line real quick here from the 940. Can I get a shout out, fellas? We are leaving the hospital with baby girl number 2. First thing is she's listening to the fan. Currently, she's the youngest Tolo ever. Ever. Let's see how long she keeps that title.
Let's hope.
In fact, if you're a Tolo and you're getting ready to have a baby, make sure the baby hears the fan on the way home from the hospital.
To mama's belly right there.
Okay, so today I was going to do a story about Spike Lee and Denzel Washington because Denzel Washington made some headlines saying that he is a Cowboys fan, and he is. He's been to Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, and he said that Jerry doesn't care about us. He just cares about his money. I'm paraphrasing him. He was on with Spike Lee on Stephen A. Smith's show on ESPN, and it was because they're making the rounds because they just released this movie I want to see called Highest to Lowest. Denzel and Spike hadn't done a movie together in like 30 years. It's crazy. It's like as long as the Cowboys drought. And they are great friends, have been doing movies. It just wasn't matching up. And they looked at, oh my God, we hadn't done a movie in years. And the co-star in this movie is Rihanna's boyfriend/fiance, A$AP Rocky. Okay. And Spike Lee says A$AP Rocky holds his own against Denzel Washington. So I got to see this. He said nobody knew he could act. He's more than just a rapper. He can act. I was like, okay, let me see this. You never know.
Seriously.
So highest to lowest, it just made my mind start flashing. Like, oh boy, I've been knowing Spike Lee and running to Denzel all these years. Mm-hmm. I first met Spike Lee when he first did his first ever movie, She's Gotta Have It. He came into town on a movie junket. I was doing this TV show called On the Beam. It was Black Entertainment and Music. It was kind of like 106 in Park before 106 in Park even came on the air, like 6 years before it even started. So Spike Lee was this hot young director, and he had this movie called She's Gotta Have It, and it was making some noise. And so I interviewed him, and we talked about a lot of things. He told me he was a Knicks fan. I said, okay. He's all about New York, and it's set in New York. And then he plays this character in this movie called Mars Blackman. Well, a few months later or years later, he starts doing a commercial with Michael Jordan where he's Mars Blackman, and he's calling Michael Jordan money. And he goes, is it the shoes? Is it the shoes? Is it the shoes?
That came from the movie?
Yes, She's Gotta Have It. Mars Blackman. That's that character he was playing in the Michael Jordan. You just have to YouTube it. But that's when people in the world of sports started recognizing Spike Lee, because he played this, and She's Gotta Have It. He played this kid right there in New York, and he just wore Nikes all the time.
Yeah.
And just
had them nerdy glasses.
And so Nike put him in this commercial, had him direct the commercial, and it was Michael Jordan. He called Michael Jordan money, and he was Mars Blackman, and they did these commercials for about, 10 years maybe.
At least. Is it the shoes?
So check this out. So that's the first time I met him. And then I met him when the Bulls and the Lakers met in the finals. This is when Jordan finally got to the finals. I'm sitting at the scorer's table because I've been covering the NBA finals at that point like 8 or 9 years. So I'm at the scorer's table. I got me a good little seat there. And this is the game where Michael Jordan is going for the dunk. He switches hands and comes up against the other side.
Right.
And this is in Chicago Stadium. Everybody went nuts. How did he do that move? Because you knew it was going to be a dunk. And Spike Lee and Denzel Washington were sitting right behind me. The front row was behind me, and the bench was on one side, the bench on the other. I'm on the score table. I looked behind because I already met Spike before, and I looked at him. I said, Spike, was it the shoes? Was it the shoes? And Denzel was wearing a Malcolm X hat because they were filming Malcolm X.
Right.
And Spike is just shaking his head, and Denzel just shaking his head. And Spike says, no, it was all money. It was all my boy money. It was not the shoes. Okay. The Bulls taking on the Lakers. The series goes to LA. While this series is going on, I got to cover. I'm covering the Evander Holyfield, Larry Holmes fight in Vegas.
Okay.
It just happens to fall on an off day. Like the Lakers and the Bulls are going to play on a Sunday. This is on a Saturday. They had played on a Friday. It fit perfectly. So I fly over to Las Vegas. How come Denzel and Spike Lee were in Las Vegas at the fight? Both of them wearing the X caps. He's telling me all about the Malcolm X movie. He said, you got to see this film. You got to see it's one of my best films I ever did in my life. Hope it gets nominated for Academy Award, the whole 9 yards. Okay. He didn't win the Academy Award. Neither did Denzel. But both of them won Academy Awards later. I run into him again at an NBA All-Star weekend. I'm talking about Spike.
Yeah.
I'm always running into him. At the airport. I'm doing the Tom Joyner show back in those days. Before Skip Murphy came, it was Tom Joyner. And we didn't have cell phones back then. So I have to leave and catch my plane. So I'm doing the last part of the show on a payphone by the gate. Here comes Spike. I said, hey, Tom, Spike Lee's walking. Let's talk to Tom. So we did the interview right there in the freaking airport. Then.
You just put him on the phone?
Yes. Because he knew who Tom Joyner was.
Right.
And he knew me. And like, yeah. And he was cool. I mean, because it wasn't like it was the first time I run it. I had talked to him for 5 or 6 years by now. And then the next time I see him, it's the NBA Finals, the Knicks versus the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
He's at all the games because he's a Knicks fan. He's on the front row.
94 probably?
Yeah, right around in there. He's at all the games the whole night. So I'm talking to him at games in New York. So go down to Houston when the Rockets win it. And by the way, the Knicks team featured Derek Harper and Rolando Blackman.
Yeah.
Pat Riley was the coach. The Rockets win. Game's over with. I'm interviewing players and stuff. Spike's in the hallway. I said, Spike, you want to go into the Rockets locker room? He goes, yeah, I got to congratulate them. They beat my Knicks, but, I got to do the right thing. Do the right thing.
I see what he did there.
Yeah. And so I take him into the Houston, because I know Brian McIntyre was the vice president of media, NBA media. And I said, Spike Lee. So we bring him in there, and he gets the champagne bottle with Olajuwon and congratulates him and all that. And then I don't see him for another couple of years. But this is the crazy part. He comes to a Mavericks game because he's trying to work a movie deal with Mark Cuban. And it didn't happen. But Spike, for those who don't know, he's had an incredible career with these movies. I'll just name a few of them. He didn't do the deal with Mark Cuban, but he was trying to work on something. So he's sitting next to Cuban. And so, hey, Mark, me and Spike go way back, blah, 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 blah. Right. He's done, of course, She's Gotta Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, Jungle Fever, Malcolm X, Clockers, Girl 6, Get on the Bus. He Got Game. Denzel Washington. By the way, when Spencer
Dinwiddie. Was that their last movie?
Huh?
Was that the last movie they did?
Probably. He Got Game. I was telling Spencer Dinwiddie when he first signed with the Mavericks, I said, because he had a big fro then, I said,
he did look like
you looking like Denzel and She Gotta Have It. Okay, so keep going. Summer of Sam, Bamboozle, 25th Hour, She Hate Me, Inside Man. Inside Man, I think, was the last one he did with Denzel.
That's what it was. Yeah.
2006. Miracle at St. Anna, Red Hook Summer, Old Boy, Black Klansman, The Five Bloods, and this new one, Highest to Lowest. And one movie that nobody talks about, he did a Kobe Bryant documentary called Kobe's Doing Work.
Was that before or after he died?
Before.
Okay.
Because Kobe's in and it was all before all this.
Okay.
So Spike, and see, a lot of people only think of Spike because of the Knicks games. And he's, doing the choke thing with Reggie Miller. Yeah. And he's always on the front row. Well, in March Madness, Samuel L. Jackson, Charles, they're on the bus.
Boy, they do those
commercials.
Chase commercials.
Either Chase or
what's in your wallet.
What's in your wallet?
Capital One, yeah.
What's in your wallet? So, he's part of the sports fabric. So the last time I saw him, though, was about 10 years ago. Super Bowl's in New York. All the shows we do in Radio Row. I'm with G-Bag. And we get there the Sunday before Super Bowl week. And the Knicks are playing a game in that afternoon. We're in a sports bar. Me, G-Bag, Kavanaugh, Gavin Dawson, Ben Rogers, and Skin. Ben and Skin, G-Bag. We're all, and KT, I think, was there too. We're all in a sports bar, because it's Sunday afternoon, in New York. And the Knicks game's on TV in the background. You see Spike Lee, Annex, and all that. And then Ben says, hey, let's go to Nike store down here. Let's go to this Nike Town store. And I want to get some shoes. And so me and Dawson said, okay, we're not doing that. So me and Ben and Skin and Gavin Dawson go to this Nike shoe store. And we go in there, and we're just looking at shoes and stuff. And Ben comes running over to me and goes, look downstairs. Spike Lee is downstairs. I said, that's my guy. He is? I said, yes. Well, Spike Lee, this store is like 2 or 3 stories high.
Yeah.
We're looking down like you're looking down a stairwell. So I said, let me go talk to Spike. I'll introduce you to Spike. So I go down there. Spike is just, you got a shoe clerk, and it's just him. And he literally just left the game. Just left the next game. And he's trying on some Nikes. I said, Spike. He said, man, wait a minute, the Mavericks are playing Brooklyn. That's why you here. I said, no, I'm here for the Super Bowl. Oh, I just thought you did basketball and entertainment stuff, man. And I said, I want you to meet Ben Rogers, Skin Wade, Gavin Dawson, doing the show, blah, 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 blah. And so he took some pictures of the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And then he said, you're going to go to the Mavericks game too? Because he said, I might go to Brooklyn for that. I'm a Knicks guy. I said, I understand. And then that was the last time I saw him, but I love his movies.
The fact that he remembered you, though, and was so, like, just off the cuff about it.
We're talking about 30 years.
That's wild.
And what really blew my mind was it's in New York at a Nike store. Why would I be there? In other words, how would he connect?
Seriously.
But the first thing he says, what are you doing here? Because the Mavericks, he said, that's right, the Mavericks are playing Brooklyn. And I said, no, I'm not here for the Mavericks game.
I tell you what, he's a ball knower. I mean, the fact that he loves his basketball.
Yes, he does. He knows his stuff, and he's a great guy, too.
Highest to lowest, is that it now? Is it theaters or is it going straight to streaming
now?
too?
It'll be streaming September 2nd or something. But you can check it out. Just Google up highest to lowest. Where can you see it? I want to say it's at the Alamo Draft Theater, and it might be at Studio Movie Grill.
Okay,
but check it out.
Okay, no, I'm definitely down to check that out as well.
And there's your CA Stories Confidential.
Another rousing edition of CA Stories.
Is it the shoes?
Is it the shoe? Man, I had no idea that Mars Blackman was actually just an actual movie character from another movie. All right, coming up next, final segment of the program. We're getting you ready for what is, and dare I say, this is a must-win game for your Texas Rangers. We'll discuss that and more. Don't go anywhere. It is 105 through the Fan.
This is Ryan Watson, owner of Alliance Hyundai. During the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, we have over 600 vehicles in stock, like the all-new 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe. Every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, and owner's assurance. Visit us at alliancehyundai.net today.
Hi, I'm Nick at Dowerth Restoration. What would you do if your business was suddenly struck by a disaster, a flood, a fire? What if water soaked everything inside your office? Well, it's never pleasant to think about such things, but you never know when it'll happen to you. That's why you need to remember this one thing, DowerthRestoration.com. Since 1976, we've been there for the ones who thought it would never happen to them. It's good to have friends in the restoration business.
You and your friends are invited to indulge in a Tanqueray martini. Start your night with Fancy Hour, the early evening moment that celebrates an iconic duo. Martinis and fries. Step out in style and set the tone for the night ahead. This is your moment to get dressed up. Own your fancy and step into the spotlight with Tanqueray Gin. Book your table today at one of Dallas's trendiest restaurants on dfwrestaurantweek.com and make it Fancy Hour. Please drink responsibly.
I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your AC system, and here's why. Right now, you can stack 3 incredible rebates together. A $1,900 factory rebate, a $1,500 utility rebate, and the $2,000 federal tax credit. That's $5,400. And when you leverage our factory direct pricing, that means you can buy the top-of-the-line 24-SEER AC system for what most people are paying for the base model. Plus, these systems can cut your electric bill by over 60%. That's over $1,000 a year. We're so confident in this offer that we actually encourage you to call 2 other companies first, get their price, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning at 877-YOUR-HERO or schedule your free estimate online at ReliantAirConditioning.com, where we've been gimmick-free since '83.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and
before. Well, I mean, of course you have. It's the Rachel.
Oh, is that your name?
No, I mean like your name.
No, I'm Jen. My name's Jen.
Right, but I just mean like this is your haircut.
But that's hair on your head.
I'm not saying this is your hair.
Okay,
to stand by on that. All right, we're going to get some Rangers talk here in a second. We've heard from Joe Milton. We've heard from Izzy Akwamu. But what did Brian Schottenheimer say last night after he was asked about the backup quarterback position?
Yeah, again, I feel like I don't have to decide anything today. You know, we going to keep letting these guys practice. I just told the guys get ready because, you know, a couple practices this week are going to be really physical, and we have to. But it's like all these position battles. We don't have to decide anything now. I think, you know, like with the receivers, we were trying to get a good look at a couple of those guys that were fighting for those spots, and I thought a couple guys stepped up and did a nice job. I thought, you know, Florino had a couple nice catches. Mingo made a great catch down the boundary, and then, you know, I felt like we kind of shot ourselves in the foot with penalties when we would get some momentum, and so we got to be cleaner.
No, they definitely do need to be cleaner, and I don't think that Will Greer's the answer.
No, we don't.
Right.
But here's the thing: we don't know if he could just hold it down for a game because they're not getting him reps.
They're not.
We have no idea if he can hold it. Broadus put it, or not Broadus. It was Babe Laufenberg said
Babe.
He's only thrown 54. We're talking about Will Greer. 54 passes in an NFL game. You think he can hold it down, but we don't really know because they're looking at Joe Milton, who, by the way, has got a 3-year contract. It's not like you got to find out now before you throw him away or he leaves. He's not going to leave.
This much I will say, though, when it comes to Will Greer and maybe why they're not giving him reps.
Okay.
I mean, here's the deal. He hasn't thrown a regular season pass since 2019.
See?
But here's my point. Yeah, and you know this as well as anybody. If Homeboy could, he would. This is a league that is you are. Look, you could be from Jupiter. If you can throw a football and run an NFL offense, they're going to find a spot for you. Okay? If Will Greer was a viable backup quarterback, that's why he's the third quarterback.
Yeah, and he was the third quarterback for a few years here behind Cooper Rush and Dak.
And so my thing with that is you kind and I'm not, because look, I love me some Babe Laufenberg.
Mm-hmm.
you know what you got in Will Grier. Okay? Like he's an emergency quarterback for a reason. And you saw it last night. All right? I mean, this is a guy who has been in the league for 6 years. And again, on one hand, I understand he's not getting any practice reps, what have you. He threw one great pass and then looked like a guy that's been around the league for 6 years, bouncing around and just threw 4 incomplete passes after that. So Will Grier is what he is. He's an emergency quarterback. God forbid something happens. He's the guy you put in. You're hoping that Joe Milton can calm down and give you something, is what you're hoping for.
A caller called in, Tolo called in the post-game show last night and said, I wish they wouldn't have passed on Shador.
I heard that too.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that too. And
at this point in time,
I mean, look, I wish they wouldn't have passed on Dylan Gabriel. Right?
Same here.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and look, I know Tyler Shuck threw for 155 yards the other day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dylan Gabriel's bald. Now, granted, he threw the pick.
He looked competent.
He looked accurate.
He looked accurate.
He looked accurate, which Joe has it.
Again, he didn't outshine Shador, but he didn't mess up.
By the way, what did you make of what he said in his post game yesterday?
Who?
Dylan Gabriel.
I missed it.
He said there's entertainers and there's competitors.
Shots fired.
Clearly, him and Shador must not get along.
That's what I'm thinking.
There's no way
just that alone.
You're throwing that out there after a preseason game, after knowing who you're because you ain't saying about Kenny Pickett.
Or Flacco.
Or Flacco.
Old Flacco.
Who's,
100 years
my
old.
age, for crying out loud. I thought that was a awfully
Shots fired. Well, they're
ballsy.
competitive.
And I get it. But to say that Shador, like to call him out and say there's entertainers and there's competitors. I mean, hasn't Shador pretty much been knocked down to size since draft day?
Yeah.
And let's be real. And again, maybe he sees more behind the scenes than obviously what we're privy to, but it sure seems like Shador's done everything right since he's gotten to Cleveland.
Except drive 100 miles an hour. That's it. The only thing.
Which,
I know.
Look, as somebody who drives 100 miles an hour, I'm not mad at him for that. He's a 23-year-old kid who's probably got
But
he ain't driving a Ford Ranger, I can promise you that.
Inside the building, he's done everything correct.
Everything. I mean, hell, Myles Garrett can't even not drive 100 miles an hour, for crying out loud. You get your own players setting the standard over there.
Arlington Lamar?
I'm telling you. Or is it Arlington Martin?
Martin, my bad.
There you go. Yeah, let's shout out to Blake Elliott, who will remind everybody
that he played
basketball and football with Myles Garrett, even though I don't think they've been to the playoffs since Myles Garrett left. And I do the Mythical High School Football Show, so I want to say they were 5-7 last year.
Martin?
Yeah, rough year.
Yeah, maybe.
Jet just said they had been. That's where he graduated as well. So he just said that.
What's that?
Jet said that they have been to the playoffs.
When?
What year?
He said when.
Last time.
When?
2021.
Really? All right. 4 years. Okay. Well, and I think Blake graduated in 2016, 2017.
My wife graduated from Martin, too.
Okay, so she's a Martin grad. Okay, so we got a few Martin grads in here.
Yep.
I didn't graduate from Martin.
I wasn't talking about you, fool.
I know, but I'm just letting you know
left
that
out?
I didn't graduate from there.
I didn't graduate from Arlington Martin either.
Okay, well, that stinks.
Okay. I'm graduated from Hayden High School, Topeka, Kansas. Represent. Speaking of
wait. We had a Tolo qualifying it. He said that comment that Dylan made, 972 said Dylan Gabriel tried to say it was about the media. They make no sense. He was dogging out the media for trying to want him to be entertaining. So it's all context, Fred.
It is all context. It is all context. I mean,
it wasn't about a comp.
Yeah.
It was almost like, well, it's kind of like you're boring. Some people are. What did he say?
No, there's entertainers and there's competitors.
And they were talking about him being boring, basically.
Oh,
Dylan being boring.
Shout out to Keelan Russell, by the way, from Duncanville.
What about him?
He was. They just showed him at this high school thing.
TV?
He's over there. He lost the starting job. Well, he competed for the starting job over at Alabama. Old Keelan. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I just saw that. I saw that comment, and it just sounded like, huh. It's interesting that he would say that because it didn't make sense. I was like, why would you say that about? Because again, I didn't think Shador had done anything wrong either.
Right.
So, but man, I got gotcha'd. I got gotcha'd is what happened.
Not for us says I'd take Quinn Ewers over Milton. Yeah.
Oh, I think
there's the Miami Dolphins.
I mean, I think there's a lot of players you'd take over.
But
Joe
again,
Milton right now,
fans, scouts, and coaches, they see the upside with the gun for the arm. They just lose their minds over the measurables. Not everything else. We can overcome the other stuff. No, you can't.
You can't overcome accuracy.
Exactly. And if you're a quarterback, you've got to have not just the football IQ, you have to have a quarterback football IQ because you got to know everything.
That's it. Protection. You saw that happen yesterday when he got the safety. I mean, there's just so many things that go into it. He's going to play again on Friday night, right? The whole game. So you just hope that he looks better on Friday. Speaking of hoping that they look better, this is a must-win game for the Texas Rangers.
Yes,
okay?
it is.
I don't care.
14-2 yesterday.
You have to win today.
You can't get swept.
You cannot get swept for the second time in 3 series.
And then go where?
And then you go to Kansas City, who, oh, by the way, is 62-61. They're probably going to sweep the White Sox today. All right, that'll put them 2 games above 500. And then you've got
race.
You have to win today. You win because now you're 2 games below 500. All right, you win today. All right, you're 1 game below 500. Then you go to Kansas City. If you can take 3 out of 4, which you're going to have to do. I mean, again, to your point from earlier, Chris, you have put yourself in a position where you have dug yourself into a hole, especially with this 8 out of 9 game losing streak that you're on, where you are too far gone to lose any more games.
Evo's on the mound. You have no excuses not to win this damn game. Give us some bats. Give us a bullpen that's competent.
Well, I'll tell you what you need. And this is what sucks is you need Evo to go 8 innings today. I mean, reality.
It's a playoff game.
Think about it. You need Evo to go 8 innings, and I mean, in a perfect world, just go 9 and shut him out, or just give up a run or 2. If you can win 4-2 today, I'm gonna say it right now. You win 4-2, Evo goes 8, and let's say that Sean Armstrong closes things out or Curvello, who I've been saying should be the closer.
Nolan did it. They're from the same hometown.
Damn right they are. All right, I say Curvello gets the save, and I'm going with Josh Young with a home run.
I'm going to echo that. Josh Young with a home run.
There you have it. That's Chris Arnold. I'm Fred Davis. That's the one, the only Trevor the Creator. Go Rangers. Good night. God bless.
When your friends say, hey, did you hear? You can proudly say, I heard it on the Fan. Keeping you sports informed with some quality laughs along the way. Turn it on and leave it on. 105.3 The Fan, the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio app, and TuneIn app.
What are the most common calls you guys get for someone who's like, oh, I wonder if I should call the Frankels for this?
The bottom line.